So, Resident Evil 4 Pro Mode. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I can say about it, besides it being incredibly difficult at some sections. The beginning areas, not too bad. Really, the biggest issue that I ran into with this game was the middle sections in particular, specifically starting around the Gorge in Chapter 6. They really like introducing more and more archer characters as you go along there, and with how fast enemies can attack, archers are basically machine guns, so they were absolutely tearing my ass apart. Other things of note so far is I don't use any bonus items, I don't use any microtransaction items that were just introduced a few days ago. I wanted this run to be stuff that you can do in the base game without essentially buying your way or getting DLCs, so I even stuck with the original costumes, just removed Ashley and Leon's jackets as default costumes, just so there was consistency across the model the entire time. This first guy here, if you do a little loop, I found it's pretty consistent. If I go up to the corner there and then just do a quick loop around, he goes through his animation. Out of the probably 10 times that I've done it, he's only caught me about once or twice, so it does have pretty decent consistency. But that green herb in that cabinet is hellaciously inconsistent with if the enemies will spot you and hit you or not. It was like a 50-50 shot of opening the cabinet, grabbing the herb, and they throw an axe or not, and probably 50% of the time from that you would get hit. So just really inconsistent. Have to depend on luck essentially there. But we will be collecting things as we go along. This isn't a speed run by any means. This is just more of a doing it within the time constraints, trying to go for the S+ as quickly as possible while giving ourselves some breathing room. It's not really to go fast. I'm already an hour over the current speedrun times, so I'm not too concerned with getting a world record or anything. I lack the consistency thereof to get one of those anyways. My consistency on a good day is basically an average person's. My consistency on a bad day is absolutely terrible, so I would like to speedrun this game, but at the same time I do not have any form of consistency that is remotely even good enough. But to start off the village, we're just going to run off to the right here, get rid of the first old woman over here. It will be a silent one, so we don't have to worry about them noticing us yet, but we will go and grab the red herb on this cart. Lord knows I'll need it. And then this guy, I just kind of shoot to miss, but at the same time, if you hit him, it's not a bad thing. It mainly just gets the attention of everybody. They'll start funneling into this house as we throw this grenade, so it'll take out a bunch of people. So that's our first grenade used, and then I just run across to the chainsaw house immediately. You can kind of loop them around a bit more to get more people kind of bundled up, but I just wanted to get through it quick. But we grab our shotgun, the hand grenade out of the cabinet, and then the shotgun shells off the bed after knocking down this ladder so nobody gets in the house with us. And jump out the window. And here we kind of try and line up a grenade. There's not a ton of people down there, but this guy on our left here, never really had him appear until this point. So he kind of took me by surprise before I threw the grenade and kind of made that suboptimal. But then I just start using the environments as we go. Main thing here is just trying to conserve as much health items as we can. I just didn't want to take a ton of hits by standing still, so I kind of run a loop while just trying to take out enemies as I go. And essentially trying to avoid the chainsaw teleport areas, because this guy is a wizard of some kind and can just appear in places, so you definitely don't want to just run straight into him. So I kind of try and keep him on like a tight leash, but at the same time not tight enough to where if I get hit or anything, an enemy will just immediately get me killed. And there was one particular Ganado that was just like a sniper this entire time, because that dude was railing me with axes in this particular area. I have no idea why that guy just decided to be a sniper, but kudos to him because he probably hit me the most out of anyone in this game. And unfortunately, he also cost me a few healing items. So, also, F that Ganado. But yeah, I just kind of stay up in this little area of the rooftop until stuff starts coming my way. The slope of the roof behind us blocks line of sight, so things can't throw axes at us. But as soon as the chainsaw guy comes running, we start going the other way. So we're just kind of running this loop the entire time, just trying to essentially not burn through health items. Getting stuff thrown at you does a lot less damage than like grabs or actual melee hits, so those aren't as important. But at the same time, getting a chainsaw run through you will insta-kill you, so we're okay with taking the ranged hits as long as it's not anything in particularly damaging or the chainsaw itself. The problem is that he's a shit ton quicker than most of the other Ganados. Most of the time I just try and save my shotgun for if something is blocking our path. Because we currently have the chainsaw guy always on top of us, getting stuff out of our way as quickly as possible is the best bet. Also, the sniper Ganado again is a giant asshole. But yeah, the handgun in higher difficulties is so inconsistent with its ability to stun enemies that I basically just get rid of it by the time we hit chapter 6. The TMP is about as consistent, but its fire rate is so much higher that you have technically more chance of the TMP proccing a stumble or a stun, which is basically what we want the handgun for anyways. And we got out of the whole village fight relatively healthy, few items. We're just going to go ahead and grab stuff that we left while we were running for our life. So we're going to clear out the village, grab all the pesetas, all the green herbs, and essentially just anything not nailed to the floor. We already activated this guy near the cutscene, so that is one good thing if you want to check this room. The Ganado will normally be left in the house there if you don't run in there. And after the village, or the bell tolling scene, he'll pop out. But if you do it right as the cutscene activates, he just disappears. So it makes that house a freebie at that point. But we grab the green herb from back in that little alcove back there, and then go and grab the one up in the clock tower, or the watchtower, I guess, not really a clock in it. But then we can just use the floor to get quickly down. Super simple. Just run to the middle of the area and it'll push you down to the ground level. It's supposed to be a gotcha for people who are used to abusing the tower in particular. That way you can't just stay up there indefinitely. And then we grab this ruby out of this chest. And then we're going to go on to the farm area. Farm, super simple once you get it down. I still haven't completely got the consistency on the lock shooting through the window, but it's just a really quick skip. So we're just going to grab the barrel in the save hut, run over to the right immediately where Grandma is pitchforking hay, and I like to get rid of her. You don't have to, but as soon as you fire, she's going to be aggroed, so it just gives you a little bit more time. And here we're just going to aim for a little bit above the doorknob, and you can hear the metal clang whenever you hit the lock from the window. So whenever you hear that clang, you're going to run in. And as soon as you grab the cog, you're going to be ambushed by a brute. So we want to climb the ladder. You can actually hit the ladder before his little cutscene begins, and that'll save you a little bit of time, but I wasn't too consistent at getting it before the cutscene started. So just know it is possible. But we're going to put the cog in the windmill and then pull the lever. And we have shotgun shells on the step ladder over to our right, so we're going to grab those as we go down and get the yellow herb. So we go back behind the ladder and grab the yellow herb. And make sure you have your shotgun out, because old man Eustace here likes blocking the way, but we're just going to go underneath the trap there and then get him out of the door. He was really consistently blocking that door, so I just decided to start opting to pull out the shotgun to get him out of the way. And here, whenever you push the cart, it's basically just pray to RNGesus that they happen to be in between swinging animations if they hit you or not. So, first guy misses, second guy hits. Unfortunate, but it's better than both of them hitting and insta-death, so... It's a bit of an inconsistency, but you can time it well enough, I guess, to where you can't be hit. But, like I said, it's just basically crossing your fingers. But make sure to have your shotgun out again, because Muriel here with her pitchfork will 99.9% of the time charge. Really, every time I did this part, she would charge me. So, I just got tired of it and decided, hey, I'm going to knock her down instead, because parrying a pitchfork charge is really, really difficult, especially whenever you have my parrying ability, which is ass. So I just wanted to take the safer route. There is the bird nest up between these guys that you can actually shoot and grab the item out of, but it's pretty weird. It's just not really worth it, in my opinion. It gives you like 5 handgun ammo. But the pitchfork guy on the right, you definitely want to get rid of him, because every time he was charging me, and he will catch you pretty much no matter what. If they do a charge, they are faster than you. So even if you're booking ass the other way with quite a distance in between you, there's a good chance they'll catch you. This guy here, you can choose to get rid of him, you could not. If you start doing the boards and stuff, you're actually invincible during the animation, so he'll just kind of stare at you until you get them off. And then whenever you open the hatch, you're also invincible to any attacks that he does, as well as whenever you're jumping down. So you can get rid of him, you could not. Really doesn't matter, it's kind of just a preference thing. I just wanted to have a breather moment, so I got rid of him. But yeah, that's chapter 1, done in like 12 minutes. Just basically the village fight and then a run to where Luis is. So now we start into chapter 2. They take all your items, put them into the room. You basically just need to knife only the beginning. Super simple scripted sequence. The first guy won't even see you. Third guy won't even see you. Second guy, you can actually take advantage of the bear traps in the room that he's in and get rid of him instantly, essentially. So this guy, you can run up right behind him, get rid of him instantly. The next room, just walk in front of the sandbags, and then you'll see the bear trap right here that I take advantage of. And you can just instantly get rid of him. I've never had him hit me because the bear traps cancel all their animations if they get grabbed during it. So it is a super consistent thing to just let them run into the bear trap and then use the cinematic kill. And here, since the rats are super easy to get, I'm just going to get all of the rats for a few free spinels. I don't know, or I didn't really plan a whole lot of this run through, except for where I wanted to save in particular, in certain troubled spots. So a lot of it was just playing by ear, and putting myself in situations where I tried to get myself out of, especially later on. You'll see, and I'll explain it as it goes. But yeah, now we just have to open up the item room and run on in and grab our items out of it. So just a simple walk, nothing too extreme. We do have to mine the one bear trap that's still here, so you want to take a wide path. But the other bear trap isn't there, so we can't be hurt by it. We'll grab all the extra items, open up the gate, just go on through. And then we get the merchant cutscene, skip it of course. But yeah, since we don't really have a whole lot of money, we don't really care to talk to him. If you have enough to buy a rifle, then I'd recommend it. Just because we're going to be using the rifle later. We don't really get the case upgrades in perfect sync in this one. Like, as soon as he has them, we don't worry about it. But to dodge Grandma there, just hug her left side. It's pretty consistently easy to dodge Ganados in this one if you get as close to them as possible during their swing animation and run to their backsides. Unless they're doing a grab, then yeah, you're not going to dodge that. Grabs in this game are super annoying and magnetic and don't have a damage kind of period. It just instantly does its full amount of damage to you as soon as they grab you, like frame one. The dynamite dude here, basically inconsistent as far as I know. I just got lucky climbing up the ladder, and you do want to not be near them whenever you shoot them. That was actually how I lost one of these runs, is being up close to that guy and literally blowing myself up with the dynamite he was holding. So be mindful of dynamite enemies. If you shoot them in the right place whenever you're near them, you will die. So yeah, we're just gonna grab the hexagon, go up here, make sure that everything is dead in a relatively large radius, and then open up the door and jump down. Grandma's gonna be getting out of the window whenever we come down, so we'll be ready with the shotgun and knock her back in, and then we immediately jump in to stop that grab with an animation. So we knife open the lock and then run out where other Grandma is waiting. Just remember to hug her side, and you can pretty consistently dodge it. So that section we actually did relatively painlessly, which is really good. I'm happy that it went as well as it did. So the hexagon puzzle, just a simple rotate once and then flip. Basically like the old insignia door in the original. Just a super simple puzzle. But then we can open up the door. Here, I wouldn't even recommend knifing this guy. I didn't really expect the other Ganado to just immediately be on my left. I would expect him to run to the right, but then he hits me with a grab. And as you can see, it does its full amount of damage as soon as it grabs you. So frame one, it's just doing its full damage. There's nothing you can do to avoid the damage of a grab after it connects. So it is kind of shitty. I kind of wish they went for more of a linear amount of damage kind of thing, but at the same time, you can avoid the situation by not putting yourself in it. And I was used to this woman coming out from the left, so I didn't really expect her on the stairs, so my consistency on that strategy of passing her wasn't really going to work. Should have probably dodged more to the right, but she did like a weird step. But here we're going to get the treasure in the trees and then the treasure on the well. I grabbed this green herb just for safety's sake. The more healing items I have, the more health I effectively have. So we grabbed the pearl pendant we shot down, and then the chainsaw guy just stick to his right or left, depending on where he is in the path. But you can just run right past him, he's not too bad. Duck underneath the explosive there. Mind all the bear traps that are sitting in the path. And then we can go inside the house. Just ignore the Ganado in the bathroom. He won't come out. If you don't bug him, he won't bug you. So we'll just grab the ruby out of the drawer here. And then we can grab the small key in the corner, the egg in the stove, as well as the other items on the shelves. And then we can go and do our orb lock and get the marble out of the cabinet. So the code is Grain Pig Baby. Super simple. Never really changes in difficulties that I know of. There's certain puzzles that change with difficulties, but that one I don't think does. Namely, the clock puzzle in Ashley's section changes. It changes from Roman numerals to just straight up telling you the answer. But that Plagas Destinado, or Desnudo, broken neck Plaga, essentially. It comes out, I just use the table to block it. And the orb puzzle, super simple, but I think my brain was just fried at this point, so I had like an extra 20 seconds of solving this thing, and I don't know why, because looking at the video, it's really obvious I just need to rotate it to the left. But for some reason, my brain was just gone right now. Like, it was on a full vacation currently, if you couldn't tell. So, yeah. Rotate it to the left past me. You'll get it. You'll get there eventually. Please, God, get there eventually. You look like an idiot. Still to the left, buddy. You can do it. I believe in you. Yeah, no, yeah, to the left. No. Yeah, you're getting there. Yeah. There you go. Good me. Good job. You solved one of the simplest puzzles in the game in half a minute. Should have probably taken about 5 seconds. So yeah, my brain was on a vacation, if you couldn't tell. But we still don't save yet. The first save I do is right before the fish farm, simply for the fact that I've had the fish farm go really smoothly, and I've had the fish farm go really badly. Like, basically, as soon as you go for the gas can in the hut, shit just hits the fan and everything falls apart. And just a word of note, I will be saving the dog. If you don't save the dog, you have no soul. Just gonna point that out. I don't care if I was going for world record or it would have cost me this S+. I would still save the dog. You're a monster if you don't save the dog. But anyways, we're going to go down this path. There's a box in this hut. We're just going to grab real quick. That's basically it. Keep continuing down the path. And once we get back to the village, we're going to have the scripted watchtower falling over scene. And then we'll be attacked by Colmios. We don't really deal with the Colmios in the village because you can just run inside the house that you need to go into immediately. You can essentially skip the dogs. So we just get rid of that lock on the door and then run inside to where the door closes so the Colmios can't follow us in, and then get rid of the trap there. And Grandma waits behind this door. I've had consistency problems with her hitting me and not hitting me, so I just opted to shotgun her to knock her down and get her out of the way. That guy that I ran past, also, I usually go faster and he doesn't give me the bump, but that time he did. We get rid of the Viper in that box just because it's an extra healing item. I don't sell the Vipers just because unprofessional. I find the heals to be more helpful than the spinels. So I keep the Viper as a healing item and then get the Velvet Blue that's hanging off the ceiling. There's a first aid in this box that we can grab. Right now, I should be filling up my shotgun, which we have 6 shells where 5 will fill it, which is kind of unfortunate because that costs us a little bit of time trying to reorganize to get the first aid kit or first aid spray. We could leave the first aid spray since object permanence is a thing, and we could come back later for it since we left it, but I really just wanted heals because of the sections coming up with El Gigante and Del Lago. So having that heal for them, I find it would be better than after them, just because I feel like those sections are going to be more difficult. Not so much Del Lago, but El Gigante is definitely more of a pain in the ass. But here we immediately buy our flash grenade recipe. Flash grenades are basically the linchpin of a lot of the strategies in the castle. So if you don't have flash grenades and you don't have the recipe, you're going to regret your life and all decisions you have made until that point. So yeah, get the flash grenade recipe. It's really good. Flash grenades are really helpful. But I'm just trying to find particular things that I can get rid of to make room for the first aid spray. And since kitchen knives are basically F-tier knives, I just sell all of them. So that freed us up 3 spaces. Kitchen knives aren't bad if you want to make bolt thrower bolts, but at the same time, they're just really, really shit. Like, not good knives. They break really quickly, don't have a lot of durability. Like, I don't know about damage in particular, but I'm sure they're ass in that regard too, so. basically just really easy decision to sell. Here, just grab that bird's nest as you're walking your way up to the church. There's only 2 guys here. One's in the far right hut and one's shoveling dirt, I guess, at a non-marked grave. And we can get the grave robber challenge since it's a single knife swing to immediately complete it. Super quick, super easy. Just gives us free spinels essentially for swinging our knife once, wasting about 3 seconds. So we go to the church. Turns out we need a special emblem, so we're going to go and do that. We do open this drawer over here since it has a yellow diamond. It's the most expensive jewel that we can get, so really worth the small key to do it. If you put it into a bonus, or get the bonus multiplier, then you can actually make it worth a lot of money. So we end up doing that. This section coming up here with the ravine isn't too bad, the little catwalk here. I essentially just run into this house here really quick, grab the Viper in the box. We won't worry about the gunpowder right now, we're going to grab that later. But one of the guys actually is burning himself alive to our left, but we're going to run to our right. This guy usually likes dodging in the front, and it holds his animation there, so really good. Go deep on this jump down, because I believe it stops the enemy from spawning ahead of you here. And here's an example of momentum killing me. Almost. So yeah, momentum always gets me in this game. So near-death experience out of the way, we just keep on down the cave. I basically had to heal as soon as I got blown up because the Ganado behind me would have insta-killed me at that point, since my health was quite literal 0. So I pull out a flash grenade, get rid of all the crows in this area, and then there are 2 colmillos that we need to get rid of. As you can tell, my aim is kind of shit, so I did miss a few shots that would have probably ended that one, but then the other one wasn't close enough for the shotgun to finish off immediately, so I just finished it off with a knife. Pick up all of the treasures that are dropped, and the hand grenade and sapphire especially. We do get, basically the rest is pesetas along with a red herb, so pick up everything. We're going to grab the ruby up top before El Gigante, or El Gigante. We actually do end up selling an individual ruby later just to get me out of a situation that I had put myself in. But here I just kind of ignore the resources, grab the barrel over here. There are 2 more barrels over to the left here that I could grab, but just decide against until later. So this is where I kind of went indecisive with what exactly I wanted to do. This was one of my first times of reaching this point. If you can't tell by how indecisive I seem with menuing, basically menuing is the easiest way to tell if it's one of my first shots at it or not, just because I look really practiced and choreographed whenever I have been through a section about 50 times, so it becomes really obvious. Here, I end up buying the rifle. Just don't even worry about it. I didn't even use the rifle until later on, so it really wasn't worth it in the end of things to get the rifle here. I don't use the rifle until all the way at El Gigante, so it really isn't worth it to grab the rifle at this point. Like I said, never used it. And it actually caused more problems later on whenever I did get it, so I had to send it to the typewriter anyways to make space for a side mission quest item later on. But we do have a rifle now, so I don't have to worry about that allocation of money for later. You can also pick up this hex piece that's in the chest as you exit through the door. It'll give you free money later, even if you don't do the hex puzzle. But here, I kind of decided, yeah, I'm gonna save before the fish farm. I really didn't want to lose all of the progress that I had so far with a decent showing for health and all of that. So I ended up making this my first save. I equipped the charm there for some reason. I never even end up crafting handgun bullets, so it's really weird that I just equipped it for who knows why. But yeah, I do end up making a save here, just because the fish farm is so wishy-washy with how it works most times. But I think it's pretty decent to make a first save at chapter 3 anyways. That way, I wanted to backload my saves because I was less sure of the island bullshittery that could go on than I was in the village bullshittery that could go on. Particularly, there's a few sections that worry me. El Gigante, the village cabin fight. Those two in particular are what stand out more than anything. Later on, I'm not too concerned. Since we do the Bitores, or the Mendez skip, didn't have any worries about that. The Chainsaw Sisters are another big part that I was really concerned with, and the gorge before leading up to them. So we had those two particular back-to-back sections that were kind of a pain in the ass, along with the chase from Mendez. Since Ashley's AI is about as consistent as myself, I really, really hated the Ashley sections. She's just a giant RNG reliability fest that can be on your ass one time and then 5 miles away another, even if you have her set on close at every point. But as soon as we grab the gas can, I end up having a grenade ready just because I usually get ambushed at the door. I throw it right at the door. We climb up the ladder to the right. I try and jump down, but for some reason that corner is just like a dead zone. Didn't let me jump down immediately, so I took an arrow to the face. But then I pull out my shotgun in anticipation of getting blocked while going to this ladder, but they were super nice, and actually one of them just blocked another one of them into an animation of just like walking into him. I'm not really sure what went on there, but it was super nice to save the shells. Grab the last barrel, jump down, and get ready for Del Lago as soon as we go and grab and loot everything in these cabins that are coming up. Del Lago, super simple, straightforward fight. Just dodge the shit in the water. Try and aim well, which is a big ask from me, but I want to say that Del Lago actually went pretty decently, in all honesty, compared to my first start off against Del Lago. My aim wasn't too bad. I think I missed about 4 or 5 harpoons, which is pretty damn good for me. So, if you have better consistency with hitting harpoons, then Del Lago is basically a pushover. He's still pretty decently easy anyways. I mean, as long as you have remote aim that isn't too bad, then yeah, you'll do alright on Del Lago. You definitely want to try and avoid his galloping phase, because that's whenever shit starts to really get crazy. The galloping is where he's just like leaping out of the water up and down. I find that it makes stuff very inconsistent with the waves hitting the boat and Del Lago's model being all over the place. So getting as much harpoons into him early as you can is definitely the best thing that you can do. He always does his first set scripted thing to let you know, hey, he can jump out of the water, so as long as you know that's coming, you're fine. I don't know if he has an entirely set pattern or not. I haven't really done Del Lago enough to say one way or the other, but I know that he usually starts off with just one leap out of the water and then kind of goes into a whatever the hell he wants to phase. And again, the harpoons, really weirdly aimed, but if you aim all the way up, I found it was decently consistent at hitting him at the faraway zone that he likes to swim to. So I just crank the screen all the way to the top and try and hit him with it. But yeah, just try and hit your harpoons as much as possible. Not entirely sure if you can hit them underwater or not. It sounds like it makes the noises but at the same time, who knows? This tree, I tried to move to the right. I should have moved to the left. The leash on the boat is kind of weird sometimes, but I figured I could make it there. But yeah, he ended up clipping me with that one, and that's about the only hit that I take in this entire fight, so that was okay. I actually did fail to Del Lago one time prior that I tried doing this, and that's why I ended up making the save at the fish farm. Just because the fish farm's inconsistency, and Del Lago had me kind of spooked after he took me out one time. Definitely didn't want 30 minutes worth of not saving on my conscience after that. But then I ended up smoking both sections rather well, honestly. Which was a little upsetting, but at the same time, it's like, whatever. I'm just happy to have done them. But here we're going to have Del Lago going for his chomp on the boat. But I happened to hit him just enough times to where it didn't really matter. So I missed the second harpoon, but the third one actually takes him out right as he starts his animation for the boat bite. So that was kind of interesting. And that was the end of chapter 3. So we've taken out Del Lago. The next biggest thing will be El Gigante. The Parasite's introduction for the Scythe. Guandas? I think, something like that. But they're Scythe Plagas, essentially translated. The annoying-ass, really whippy Plagas that can hit you from what feels like a mile away. So they're getting introduced in this section. We also have the kind of dreaded cave section where we have to get the apostate's head and the blasphemer's head. The puzzles for those, super simple. The problem is the run-up in the cave to them. I kind of want to do it without wasting any resources that I can. So the most I want to go through is a few shotgun shells and probably a pistol bullet for the jewelry hanging from the ceiling. So if we can do that, then that would be really good. The introduction of the Plagas, super easy though. It'll just start the quick cutscene where it comes around the corner. We can just go ahead and skip it and then immediately run to its right. Then there will be this guy, hug him, and he'll miss more often than not. It's pretty decently consistent whenever you hug villagers to run past them that they'll end up missing. So it's pretty nice. It's a decently consistent thing. Like I said, at least something is. It's really nice to have and know that you can have that as an option. So we have the shrine here with our church emblem. Can't do anything with it yet. We're going to go down the way, get our way shrine key that's sitting on the right on the chest, or in the chest. And then we can get the barrel over on the left. We'll just go inside the box. We're going to be going to the Chicken Island, Bach Island, whatever you want to call it, for getting the golden egg that we're going to hold on to all the way until Salazar. And there is the Lunker Bass that we'll want here, just because it's on our way. If I didn't have the rifle here, it'd be a lot easier to fit it in my inventory. So, in hindsight, I end up putting the rifle into the typewriter, which would have been the play there immediately, but I kind of forgot about that functionality off the bat, just because I never really use it. But yeah, I should have sent the rifle to the typewriter, and then went over and grabbed all of this stuff. The golden egg you'll absolutely want, like, no exceptions, just hold on to the golden egg. It makes the Salazar fight a joke later on. Like, 10 seconds worth of boss fight joke. So it is definitely worth it for one inventory space to just absolutely cripple like 75% of his HP and get a free stun. Essentially, there's no reason not to hold on to that golden egg. And you can sell it, but why would you? 9,000 gold for a 3/4 of a boss fight is pretty nice. But here it's left, bottom, right. Then we can get the Blasphemer's head. We can grab the rifle ammo there in the corner. You can also grab the hexagon piece here too. Like I said, even if you don't do the hexagon puzzle, it's free money. I should have in retrospect, just because it's a free 2,000 pesetas, I think. But even if you don't do the puzzle, you still get money. So it's free money for no inventory space, which any money is good money in this. So it would have definitely been a wise choice to grab that. Just another hindsight. But now we're going to work our way back across to the cave, the highly guarded cave with the apostate's head. And as far as I'm aware, it can be a hellish nightmare or it can be a pretty decent, easy run. Thankfully, it was the latter on this one, where I actually went through pretty decently. So whenever we go up here, though, we want to kind of do a Yui in the boat. It just positions the boat the other way. Instead of facing back, it goes towards the merchant area and the shrine. So we just want to do that to save ourselves some time. Since the boat's reverse is so damn slow, it just makes it a little bit easier to get out of here after the fact. This guy, just kind of ignore him. If he's looking the other way, he really won't have enough time to hit you. I shot the dynamite out of that guy's hand. I kind of wanted it to detonate, but at the same time, it really doesn't matter as long as he doesn't have it. I used the stalagmite to block that guy throwing the axe. Here, just dodge to the right whenever that guy threw it straight at me. And we just keep running. If we go fast enough, I'm pretty sure this dynamite guy actually blows himself up, so that's one less worry later on. So you can see through the dynamite, but he doesn't anymore. And this one, super simple, just inverted triangle. So top left, top right, and then bottom. But then we're going to have two guys coming up here. I just opt to stumble them both with a shotgun shot and then knock down that one. Jump down, grab the yellow herb, just combine it with our already green and red one. Grab the velvet that's sitting on the ground from the thing we just shot. And then just kind of knock that one guy out of the way. The fire bottle guys, whenever they throw their bottles, have like a rest period where they can't really do anything besides stare at you angrily. So I took advantage of that fact, just opened the door and ran for my life. And we got through that section pretty simply, honestly. It can be a nightmare sometimes, so we did it pretty effectively. Didn't have to use a whole lot of anything besides some shotgun shells and a handgun bullet for the treasure on the ceiling, which was really nice. So now we're going to go put the heads in their place and grab our church insignia, which will let us into the church with Ashley, who I wish we could skip, but unfortunately, you kind of need her. She's the point of the game. I'm glad they brought back the armor suit, because I'm not going to lie, I don't like escorting Ashley. And here I just ended up sending the rifle to storage because I remembered, oh wait, I have a brain. You can do that now. And then I go up and end up wasting about 25-30 seconds to go grab the bass that I left out. It's just free sitting out there, so it's basically free money, free spinels. So we definitely just want to grab it. And then we go right back around. We're going to go to the merchant. And then we're going to have El Gigante to worry about. I saved before El Gigante just because his fight is wildly inconsistent for me in particular because my aim is terrible. And on a bad day, it's abysmal. So El Gigante, he's okay as a fight. He has a few particular, I'd call cheap shot moves. There's one where he just sweeps across the entire area, kind of soft tracking you to grab you. I really hate that move. It's just kind of BS-ery. You can stop him with certain things, but at the same time, if you don't have like a grenade or a flash grenade, you just kind of SOL. And here, in hindsight, I could have probably skipped the case upgrade, but at the same time, I didn't really, like I said, I didn't really plan any of this out. I just kind of wung it as we went. So I ended up buying the case upgrade and then saving, so I kind of had to get myself out of the position that I put myself in. So I kind of brainstormed a little bit after saving here, after failing a few hundred times to El Gigante and the village fight. Actually, this part in particular really upset me because I went to practice it, and the first time that I did it, not recording, I absolutely smoked this part. Like, just destroyed it. And I ended up saving it, but then I had to re-record to get the footage for this part. So you'll notice an inconsistency at the end here where my ammo is a little bit off and my healing items are a little bit off. I tried to get it as abundantly close as I could, just so it would flow, but I do end up with some ammo inconsistencies. Basically the same amount of flash grenades. Healing items were a little bit less, but overall I was happy enough with what I had to where after 20 plus attempts, I'm just happy that it ended up being close enough. So if anyone notices the inconsistency, my apologies, but yes, I did go through this part, save it, and then have to go through this part to record it. So it pisses me off that I had to do that. I'm actually incredibly pissed because that El Gigante fight was flawless and the cabin fight was damn good, and it would have been amazing to have that on recording. Because for me, getting an amazing El Gigante and cabin fight back to back was basically a blue moon on a Friday the 13th. But here, the rifle is essentially the weapon that allows professional mode to even exist. Because it does a 3 times power modifier for crit shots, it's the thing that actually makes a lot of early stuff really doable. Because your shots, if you hit crits, do like 10 to 11 damage, I think it was. But yeah, if you want to talk about BS moves, that's the one that I don't like. El Gigante just kind of sweeps across the field, swiping. I hate that move. It's the only one that I really think is BS with him. Everything else I'm fine with. Super easy to dodge jump move. Everything else. You can tell my aim is really inconsistent. Again, I play on controller for a lot of Resident Evil games. It's more of a comfort thing than a functionality thing. I've just always played with controllers, so. But El Gigante will go and try and pick up the houses. More often than not, I would hide in one house to stop him from hitting me with the other house. But eventually I just decided, screw it, I have extra flash grenades and a regular grenade. So I just ended up getting rid of the problem entirely without any of the fuss, and just blinded him and blew him up whenever he grabbed both the houses. So it just made that super easy to deal with. So now we're just kind of waiting for the big boy to aggro onto the dog, essentially. Which takes a little bit, but he eventually does. And there we go. He starts aggroing the dog, so then we can start wailing on him. Just because I don't want to take a ton of damage whenever he's aggroed on me. And there we can see he goes for the field goal, but if we just run backwards, then it's not that big of a deal. Essentially, I just started shooting him with a handgun here to save on my rifle ammo. Because the rifle does so much more damage than the pistol with his weak spot, during this scene in particular, I wanted to save the rifle all that I could to hit his worm, where it's like super free. So I planned it out to save the rifle until this section in particular to get all of the free shots that I could on his parasite. So right there I probably did about 30 handguns worth of shots on the worm, which is super nice, super free. Even I can aim at it, which is good. So yeah, I ended up switching over to the handgun again, just to try and get a relative, like, amount of damage on the worm that's sticking out. It doesn't really go back at this point, so we're kind of just free to shoot it. Here, I don't even know how I began to dodge that one. I've been hit by that slam attack whenever I'm like 15 feet away, and he was right on top of me and didn't hit me, so I guess he was just being generous that time. But yeah, essentially this fight all kind of boils down to, can you aim? Do you have eyeballs? Can you actually keep consistency? The answer to which of those is no, for me. So, we go into El Gigante's pen, grab the Velvet Blue out of there. There is the diary entry that talks about him growing to be a big boy super fast. We don't really care about diary entries, we're just here for speed. Here again, if you don't thank the dog after you fight El Gigante, you're an evil person. Just saying. Always tell him thanks, bud. He's a good boy. He deserves it. If you don't, you're a monster. But yeah, El Gigante down. We don't want to save at Chapter 5 at all. We want to get through the village cabin fight before we save, just because this section in particular, it would be way too quick of a save to go through El Gigante and then save immediately again. So I ended up going through all of El Gigante and all of the village fight to save before the gorge. Because at that particular time, after the village fight in El Gigante, I considered those two to be one section, but whenever you get to the gorge with the Chainsaw Sisters and then the Mendez chase, Ashley's AI was so inconsistent at some of those sections that I didn't want to risk losing it because Ashley was being a dork at those sections. So if you skip the cutscene there with the Colmillo that comes out, you actually have enough time to just run up to the door, insert the insignia, and then start the animation for opening the door, and then he can't follow you in the church. That's what a lot of this boils down to, is just getting to sections after certain enemies' aggro range, and then they'll just de-aggro and not do anything after the fact. Really helped out a lot in the water hall later on. Here we're just going to have the stained glass puzzle. Super simple, just rotate them where they need to go. It's not even remotely challenging, honestly. So, but then after the fact, we definitely want to make sure that we have the sniper and the sniper scope, particularly the sniper scope, because it's the thing that allows us to skip a lot of Ashley's shenanigans, especially in the beginning of Chapter 5. I feel like I would have lost every single shred of sanity if I didn't have the sniper scope at this point. So it was definitely a godsend having that whenever you have to deal with Ashley. Like I said, her AI is just wildly inconsistent in a lot of cases that I've seen. So less of her is better. I do like Ashley as a character in this one, but as a concept, I do not like escorting her. Just because she is wildly inconsistent in a lot of cases for me. Particularly involving the gorge with bear traps. I'll say that much. But we're just going to climb up this ladder. I do have a little bit of trouble hitting the skip still. I'm not too consistent with hitting this particular skip, but the basic general idea of the scope is that it actually puts you further back whenever you scope. Like, for some reason it just deletes Leon, I think, and you're basically just non-existent. It pushes your ass through walls. So Leon's dump truck thick ass just flattens and he can press against walls, or even inside them in cases. So with that, we still have the interactability of the ladder, but we're technically through the wall. So you interact with the drop down while you're inside the wall, and it causes some crazy shit to happen, which you'll be seeing shortly once I actually land it. So Leon's dummy thick ass is actually smashing time and space because he's using this rifle scope, and he actually glitches through the wall and falls through the floor. And we land at the bottom floor. Since we didn't help Ashley out of the church, she's still technically not with us. So this entire section is just a free beeline to the cabin, essentially. You can all but ignore this last guy. He just decided he wanted to do a party trick of lighting himself on fire, so he's a genius. I've never had that guy actually hit me with any meaningful damage. You just kind of shrug it off if you're running. Fire bottle guys in this game are honestly kind of a joke, because I don't think I've ever been hit by one of them and actually died to it. They mainly just put you in like an animation of Leon being like, I'm almost on fire, but taking no damage. This guy, super inconsistent. I just recommend shotgunning him. That was the first time that he actually hit me going into the window, but most other times I got past him with no problem. Don't know why he decided that time of all times to just give me a whack, but again, this game can be wildly inconsistent at some points, and other points you can get it down to a super smooth consistency. This guy, get him out of the way. Watch out for his boy Jerry over there that tries to grab you. And here at this door, I like to actually wait a second. Because these guys are going to try and grab you, if you open it too quickly, they'll actually grab you after you open it. So I kind of wait for them to start their grab animation and then start opening it. Since it puts you into an invulnerability state, you can actually dodge the grab. I'd had them grab me before whenever I did the door opening super quick, so I just opted to wait a second there to make it where they would try and grab me during. And this guy, I've never needed to avoid his attack. Sometimes it'll tell you to, but I've never actually needed to. But we're going to be on to the village cabin. This part, I lifted a lot of things from like Spicy and Distortion 2, speedrunner guys. They ended up doing a collateral through the window here, and Luis just wanted his brains blown out, I guess, because he would not get the fuck out of the way. But they ended up hitting the collateral over on the right-hand window, and I really liked the idea, so I lifted that little bit of tech from him. So it ended up being a pretty decently consistent collateral damage over there, so you just get 2 or 3 free plaga, or 2 or 3 free kills out of the way immediately, which is good, because the quicker you get the kills, the quicker you get the planks. And then I got super lucky and got a bunch of rifle ammo. And again, I just keep going for the collaterals whenever I can. As you can see, old lady Muriel there dropped her planks on the floor, so we definitely want to grab those as soon as possible and get them in the window even sooner. Unfortunately, that guy kind of blocked my shotgun, so I couldn't push them back and then put it on the window, so ended up clearing these guys out, trying to go quicker with the grenade. Definitely didn't want the scythe plaga to come in, so I ended up just opting to shotgun them out. And a lot of this part just comes down to getting kills as quickly as possible, honestly, because that makes it speed up. So get your mercenaries on in a 50-foot square cabin and start trying to go to town as soon as possible. And there I got scythe hit into a grab, so immediately just want to heal up since I was at 0 health. And then we have to deal with the 2 scythe guys. I could have thrown a flash grenade here, but I wanted to save it until later on, so I opt to just not use it. I figure the flash grenade will come in more handy later, even though I'm surrounded by 2 of these assholes currently, but there we have our last plank. So I kind of push these guys to the corner, melee them to get them a little bit further back, grab the planks, and then I'm going to immediately put them on the window so nothing else comes in while we're dealing with these guys. And then you'll also have Santa Claus coming down the chimney here in a second, so be mindful of that guy. You can see he just popped out on the floor. He does come down the chimney. I don't know how many people noticed that during this fight, but this dude is a psychopath. He comes down that little tiny ass chimney somehow. So yeah, deal with that. We want to start going upstairs. Make sure to grab the 10 gunpowder sitting on the drawer there. It's definitely worth it to grab that. But then we get a backwards punch into a grab. As you can see, it immediately just annihilates our health. You'll find that that's probably one of the most annoying things that will happen in this game, is just getting punched into a grab, and there, I got grabbed for a millisecond, there, got grabbed for a millisecond, and 2/3 of my health are gone, because the grabs immediately do their full damage. So, you will come to realize that grabs are annoying as fuck in this game. Not only do they put you in place for a decent amount of time, they also just immediately steal the health that they're going for. Like, right off. No ifs, ands, or buts, you will take the damage if that grab hits. So, just be mindful of that. If you can keep yourself from getting grabbed in the first place, just avoid it at all costs. But here, we definitely wanted to save some sniper bullets for Big Boy here. It takes us, with our current rifle power at level 3, about 4 or 5 shots to get rid of a brute. But here I just take advantage of the fact that we have the wall going up the stairs to block his hammer from smacking us and insta-killing us at this health. Again, use the wall to block him again. Walls are your friend with Big Boy here. And here, definitely had to avoid, otherwise that would have just killed me. But missed the last shot, hit the last shot, so he's gone. Make sure to grab his emerald and then anything else that's not nailed down in the cabin so far. Watch out for Muriel there, but Ashley starts the cutscene, so we ended up dodging a little bit of damage there that would have probably put me in critical. So that was the cabin fight. Super... I'm not going to say simple, that would be a flat-out damn lie. Super stressful is what I'm aiming for there. But yeah, this will be the only inconsistency in the entire run. Like I said, because that entire El Gigante and Luis part in the cabin were re-records, I essentially just tried to get it as close as possible to that, and then continue on from the save that I liked that had less saves. So I ended up getting it relatively closely. You'll notice inconsistencies with the ammo, but I don't want to just flat out lie to people and be like, oh yeah, I did it fucking flawlessly. No, it took me like 20 retries to get it close to that again, so you'll notice the inconsistencies on ammo, but at the same time, it's close enough to where it's only like 4 shotgun shells and I think a rifle bullet. So I was relatively happy with how close it was in range. So starting off with the Gorge, get rid of Grandma here. Sometimes she's taking a dump, sometimes she's not, but make sure to be mindful of the guy that's out a ways here, because he could be looking that way, and if he does, he'll instantly sound the alarm. But as soon as he turns the other way, just get rid of him. He happened to drop a ruby for me, which was super nice. I'm glad that this part of, or this run in particular, went forward, because that is a decent chunk of change that he just handed me. But we'll grab the yellow diamond back there, break this crate, be prepared with a flash grenade and throw it deep and early. That way it'll blind everything. Watch the bear traps on the ground. If you don't see Ashley immediately on your ass, swing wide or she will get caught in that bear trap. I've had her get caught in that bear trap so many damn times, and she pisses me off. But if she is right on your ass, you don't need to swing wide. This guy in the cabin, pull out the riot gun, blast him twice. You'll also notice, I didn't say it while we were at the merchant because I was explaining the whole save states thing, but I did opt to sell the beginner shotgun and my pistol and pistol ammo for a TMP and a riot gun. Riot gun will carry us through the rest of the game for our crowd control, and TMP is, I don't want to say more consistent with hitting stumbles and melee enabling attacks, but it's better fire rate for more potential at it. We'll just go with that. But I grabbed the TMP ammo off of the bag there, grab the shotgun ammo here, get rid of Grandpa on the stairs. The old woman on the left here, I've more often than not had her become a parasite, a broken neck parasite, so just be prepared after you deal with her for her to start skittering and then immediately take her out. We don't really want to deal with any particular broken neck parasites in this one because they're just a giant waste of ammo and pain in the ass whenever you can just knife them. But here I just grab all the stuff underneath the walkway up top and the handgun bullets. We're never going to use a handgun again, so it's basically just think of it as extra selling power at this point. But we're definitely going to be abusing the rifle and the fact that it gives us a triple modifier whenever we do hit headshots on the Chainsaw Sisters. Again, this was another section where I absolutely just smoked it, but I didn't save at the castle where I planned on it for some reason, and I ended up losing the awesome run that I had of this, like the third run that I did, and it just still irritates me that I didn't save at the castle. I'm still pissed off at myself for that. But we ended up grabbing the elegant headdress and then all of the other items up top. Go for the lever, skip the cutscene. Aim for the one on the right. She's the one with the checkpoint crank, so we want to get rid of her first. If not, just immediately if your aim is better than mine. You can see we hit 3 headshots on her, so she's probably about 1/3 health remaining. Here, we started having her lunge, so I just ended up throwing a grenade. And the other one, instead of getting blown back like I thought she did, she ended up getting blown forward. Otherwise, I could have probably taken her out right there with a riot gun, so that cost me a bit of time. But then I just pull out the sniper, hit the other one with a headshot, so she's probably sitting about half, and her sister's probably sitting at about 25% or so. Probably less, honestly. But I just try and weaken them enough with the shotgun. This entire part is just chaotic, just absolute butt-clenching terror, by the way. I have another section just like it later on, but this one in particular was just awful, because both of these women are just crazy. I have to knife the door, run out. I start looking back, and then I see that one of them's on fire and just dies. And that's our checkpoint one. Since we know the checkpoint crank one was the weaker one, it's pretty easy to put together that she was the one that just went down. And then the other one just went down. So I kind of went on the fly with a strategy here where I could grab her sister's money and the checkpoint crank at the same time. So I kind of start looping Ganados here to try and get them all up top to where they'll be kind of behind me, in a sense. So I can go ahead and grab both of the items, the checkpoint crank and the gem that the sister dropped. So I kind of wait a second. That one parasite back there is being an asshole and just can't decide where he wants to go. So I ended up saying screw it, they're close enough, and jumping down. So I grab the checkpoint crank, run over, grab the gem, immediately just book it. I have no idea where Grandma's going here. Like, she just went senile and ran the hell away. Like, she didn't want anything. So she's gone. Don't have to worry about her. Put the checkpoint crank in there. Get ready with the flash grenade around the corner to blind these guys before they meme on me. Start cranking, and then we should be out of here. Again, no idea where the hell Grandma went, but she is gone. Like, she's just up and gone. Like, maybe she left some cookies in the oven or something, but she's out. So that's the first part of the gorge done. Now we have to worry about Mendez. Mendez is a giant asshole because all of the villagers are just kind of scattered around, and Ashley is just something else whenever it comes to taking a bullet to the face or a pitchfork or a hand axe or anything in particular. I swear she has a magnet in her skull, because she will just sometimes turn that thing on and it will just immediately take her out. But as soon as the cutscene skipped, hold right and run, and you'll just get this smooth line over there. This guy in particular has like no health, so he goes down super quick. Tried to stumble Grandma, TMP meme, insert inaccuracy joke, yada yada. Wait for them to get all close to the barrel, shoot the barrel. Grandma here was being inconsistent too, so I got rid of her. She blocked the axe for me. Get down, Mr. President. The bridge, I've had it where I don't get hit by the shockwave there, and sometimes I do, but thankfully I think it stopped the guy from pitchforking Ashley in the ass, so I'll take it. But we're going to come on to our next skip, which is the Mendez fight skip. We don't really care to fight Mendez. We save a lot more ammo and time just not fighting him rather than fighting him, because all he gives us is his eye, which is worth like 12,000 pesetas, and whatever ammo and items are in the house with him. So overall, it's just going to cost us like 10 minutes and probably about half of our ammo we have currently, along with whatever he gives us. So we back Leon's dummy thick ass into a crouch next to this merchant. You want to angle more to the left. I was angled too far into the post. So we back Leon's dummy thick ass through the wall and then walk him up a rock climbing section. And if you just follow the little line at the face of the cliff, you can just drop right down. So, yeah, skip Mendez. You don't need to worry about Ashley. She just kind of teleports with you wherever. Say hi to Mendez. He's a good dude, actually. He just wanted to chill, I guess. But yeah, as long as Ashley isn't grabbed whenever you go to another area that I've noticed, I can't say for certain if this is true or not, so do not quote me on it. But as long as Ashley isn't grabbed, as long as she's just incapacitated, and you go to the next area that an enemy is de-aggroed, then she just gets her ass up magically and runs after you. I don't know if that is entirely true, but it just seems to be something that I've noticed. If she is grabbed and you go to another area, more often than not, if it's like through another door, she'll just immediately start the game over cutscene, where she's going through the doorway and screaming for Leon. So, it's kind of a 50-50. Not really entirely sure, like I said, don't quote me on it, but that's just what I believe I've noticed. So here, we're just going to sell all of our crap that we have, all of our handgun bullets. Since we don't have a handgun, we don't get a handgun anymore. We definitely want the broken butterfly. Since we get the magnum ammo recipe along with the broken butterfly being a 30% off at the time, that's a hell of a deal. So we're definitely just going to grab both of those. The broken butterfly basically saves this run in the water room. Like, it is the reason I was able to get through the water room. And I am so glad that I picked it up. And again, I save here in particular because I did the gorge area, I did the Mendez run, all of that Mendez skip, and then I did it flawlessly, smoked it, couldn't have done better, and then I died to the beginning Salazar catapult area, and it just absolutely just destroyed me mentally. Like, I had to stop playing for a day. So, yeah, be prepared to know what you're getting into and practice the hell out of it. Because I went in thinking, I'm decently accustomed to this part. Maybe it won't be so bad. And then Ashley got catapulted twice and died. So, you can be good, but Ashley could be Ashley. So we deal with the first crossbow person. Super simple. There's the shortcut to the cannon through the window here where you can just shoot the weight immediately. The TMP is good in a lot of sections, but this is one section where it's actually pretty flawed. It doesn't have the range to hit the barrels and stuff that these guys have next to them. So we kind of have to pull out the rifle to hit the barrels. That'll get rid of the one that can shoot right down the center, so we don't have to worry about that one, but we do have to worry about the one that'll shoot right into the tower to our left. So we have to deal with this lady. I was kind of watching for the catapult up there, but it just decided, nah, I'm good. Don't want to shoot at you this time, I feel bad. We get rid of the guy sitting up the stairs. Also get rid of the guy around the L curve here. This guy just decided, fuck it, peace out, I'm done. You're good. Like, carry on, not sure. Some enemies just decide, hell with it, you're cool. Like, no idea why they decide to do it, but some of them just peace the fuck out and never come back. Ashley immediately got grabbed behind me. Unfortunately, I missed the timing for getting rid of that parasite, but I did not want this guy dragging her into the catapult, but then there was also the problem that she fell into the catapult, so I let the next guy grab her just to not get her blown up. So all of this was completely by ear. I essentially let that guy grab her because if she sat there, she would have gotten blown up and died. So if I had taken out the guy, she would have just died. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts, she was sitting right on where a catapult hits. So I let him drag her to another area where she wouldn't be hit, and then picked her up. Now we only have to deal with the jaw plaga, the mandibula, I think is their name, but I'm not good at Spanish, I should probably just stop trying, but jaws. Translates to jaws. There you go. Makes sense. Big ass teeth. But they spit shit at you too. If you see them start spewing black, just run around the corner. And I originally in my first playthrough thought these guys were just too damn tanky, but just wait for them to open their mouths. In hindsight, I'm an idiot. In current sight, past me is an idiot still, but just wait for them to open their jaws. That's their weak spot and their weak point. If you try to shoot them when their jaws aren't open, you will be wasting a shitload of ammo for no particular reason. So here we wait for the first the catapult that hits this bridge to fire. That way I can just run across. There's a safe little cove here that we can hide in. So I plant my ass in it and wait for everything to just kind of go to town, firing all over the place. I figured this guy would be weak enough to be taken out with a rifle bullet or two, but turns out that was not the case. He took a few TMP shots with him too. So we deal with that. In retrospect, probably tell Ashley to just hang back here so she isn't right on your ass whenever these catapults are firing. I don't know how that first shot missed, but just wait for them to fire and then run back. That way you don't get hit by anything. As you can see, one of them is still hitting pretty damn close by, the one in the corner here. So I opt to get rid of that one, immediately hop off the cannon and run my ass over to the right because I know it's coming to my left. Really good maneuver on my part because it would have probably been damn near killed me or killed me. So it was a good idea to do that. And using this cannon, you can just clear everything else out. So it's a really good idea to just take out all the remaining enemies whenever you have control of the cannon. If you get rid of the middle firing area that shoots directly down the center that I did in the beginning and the one in the corner, the rest of them don't really hit you. So super good idea to get rid of the one in the corner, and then the rest of them you can just kind of take out at your leisure, along with all of the enemies that are coming up, so you can take them out first. I do opt to jump down here just to grab extra ammo and supplies. It does end up being a good thing, just because you get like 5 extra boxes worth of stuff, and I do get some rifle ammo and other stuff that comes in handy, especially in the water room with ammo. Rifle ammo is relatively expensive to make, but at the same time, the rifle itself, because we have it upgraded in power, is one of our most powerful weapons as long as I can hit headshots, so it's one of our weakest weapons, actually. I'm joking. The rifle is super good, as long as you hit crits. It does like 10 damage, which is insane. That's like half a magnum shot. It's actually more than a magnum shot currently. Fully upgraded magnum, if you have the rifle, it can do the same as that with a single shot to the head, essentially, early on. So it's really, really good if you can hit crits. The rifle is just busted if you can hit crits. So we're coming into the audience hall. I'm definitely going to save before here, just because dealing with the audience hall, I've had it go to shit immediately. I've actually died here a few times, so I really didn't want to die at this point. And the audience hall isn't really that big of a problem, since we do the Garador skip as well, and then the water hall is immediately after. I figured I'd do the audience hall skip, or the audience hall, do the skip, do the water hall, and then save in the next chapter, which ended up being the play. So this part in particular, I really, really rehearsed it, because water hall was just absolutely destroying my ass. So there's one guy that pops up behind you, I immediately run back, stumble him, and or kill him if you can. Get out your grenade because there's 2 shield guys and a leader guy. Threw it perfectly, blew them up, got rid of them immediately. Perfectly played, just TMP meme accuracy joke here. Got rid of that guy with the shotgun. Then started stabbing this guy. Perfect parry, got rid of him. I am so glad I got better at parrying because holy shit was I bad at parrying when I first started this game. This game mode, for those that don't know, is limited to perfect parries. If you don't hit a perfect parry, you are not parrying. Ever. So, it's really, really important to start getting good at parries. If I can get good at parries, I'm sure anyone can, because I suck ass at parrying. But there I set the shortcut for our Magnum. Really good, because it saves my ass later. We're still going to put Ashley through the door, because there are treasures on the other side. Use a small key on this drawer, grab the gold bar. Ashley's going to take a second to open the door anyways, so we're just going to clear everything else out on this side of the room. She opens the door, we're going to go in, take all of the treasures from this side. This would be the way that you normally go to the Gara door. But we just want the treasure, because you can get the perfume bottle, as well as a ruby and some ammo from the cabinet through the broken door, or the broken wall. That's what I opt to do, is just grab the extra money. Since we have some extra time to kill, we essentially ended up finishing in around 4 hours. So, you got a lot of extra time to kill if need be. So grab any money or materials that you think that you need. It'll just help you later on. Here, we're actually going to do a door skip. So this one in particular, it's kind of finicky, but you scope all the way down, press your ass all the way against the door, flick in the direction of the door, like unlock, whichever way it is. Since I'm on the right side of the door, I flick to the left, and then hit F while you're doing that. And eventually, you'll just kind of warp your ass to the other side of the door. Since Leon's dump truck ass is through the door, he actually ends up on the other side because he's technically over there whenever he's scoped. So, you essentially turn quick enough while you're on the other side of the door before you get pressed back out that it warps you to that side. So it's a skip that you can do with the scope in particular. I don't know if that's 100% how it works. Somebody smarter in programming can probably say more, but that's just a theorized. I assume that's how it works because the scope is really wonky in this game. So, like I said, I assume it presses his ass through the door. You happen to look at the interactable while you're still through the door because your origin point or whatever happens to be through there, and then you can go through. But here, the most cancerous room in all of the game, still, we deal with the 2 archers that are up on the way there. 2 less archers shooting you out of 15 is still 2 less archers shooting you, so I definitely do that. Pull out the shotgun, knock these guys down so Ashley can actually squeeze her big butt through them. Again, super inconsistent with Ashley there. I've had her where she just gets caught for no apparent reason. This guy in the middle with the helmet, kneecap him. Because if you shoot him in the chest with a shotgun, it will bust out a plaga, the jaw kind, and he will just be a pain in the ass. So, I kneecap him because there's not a parasite in his knee, and then just end up grenading everything else. In hindsight, probably should have kneecapped that guy too, but wasn't that big of a deal. I just wanted to get them in a stumble state where Ashley could be behind me, throw a stun grenade, start spinning this wheel immediately before it explodes. And since we're going to be repeating this pattern, we're going to go upstairs with a flash grenade. And be prepared with at least 3 shotgun shells. I've had 3 enemies pop up in front of me here. But here we'll just 1, 2, 3, get them out of the way. And then just run your ass to the wheel as fast as you can and put that thing in there. And again, Ashley, I swear she activates magnet mode and just takes it to the face. Throw the flash grenade in the middle of the room. You can sometimes get unlucky and shit will just not be stunned. I had to opt to leave Ashley here just to try and hit the de-aggro radius, so I start serpentining so the archers will fire like relatively inaccurately, barely dodged an arrow there, and then hit the de-aggro range before Ashley got picked up, thankfully. So now I'm just going to go over to this wheel and start spinning it, and then Ashley will pick her own ass up and come over to you. Yes, she is that lazy. She just wants you to save her. I swear. The girl is invulnerable and just wants someone to save her. So now I'm going to pick up everything in this room. I thankfully saved a flash grenade as well in that area. Whenever I was watching Distortion do it, he used 3. I thankfully got away with 2 by the skin of my teeth, but still, that's better than nothing. Here you just want to have good aim, so really, really terrible time with this section. I will say, get rid of the 5 that are going after Ashley. If you can upgrade capacity at this point or reload, it would be a lot better than just being where I'm at with base rifle with power upgraded. But then you'll see these 2 guys on the left. Get rid of them or Ashley will stop in place and they will just pick her ass up for free. So get rid of these guys before the guys that are running at you get to you, if you can. And I just had extra shotgun, so I just opt to start getting rid of them as quickly as possible before they start dealing with me. So I saw that guy throwing, shot him, got rid of him, or tried to. Again, they're not down, so I end up getting rid of both of them. This lady was just being polite, made me miss a shot because she decided to stop right there for some reason. I could have hit the shot here, but I have put so many bullets in Ashley's dome at sections like that that I hesitated and didn't want to do it because I was doing so well at this part that it scared me from shooting. If you shoot Ashley, you kill her, and it pisses me off that I am the thing that probably killed her 25% of the time. But here, everyone was flashed, that guy was kind of still dazed, so I ended up kicking that guy's shield off and then just kind of dodging these guys in the meantime, trying to stumble them a little bit. And as you can see, I'm completely out of ammo. I am out of rifle and everything else, so here's where I just pull out the Magnum and start going to town. These guys wailing on me don't matter, because they're not an insta-kill. While Ashley getting pulled through a door is, so I worry about Ashley before I worry about myself here. I let them throw their axes and stuff because they have a recharge time of pulling them back out. Kneecap that one, and then I assume Ashley is free at this point because we just dealt with the waves of them. So instead of wasting any more ammo, or making any more ammo, I just opt to start running these guys back and forth. Since their aim is kind of shit, they don't really lead you that well whenever you run directly side to side. So I just kind of make like an oval or a circle around them. They have really bad aim, so it ends up saving me ammo. I end up reloading my rifle just in case, and then this guy back grabs me, which I'll gladly accept. It's like a 10th of my health. It's better than being grabbed from the front and automatically losing a 1/3. But as soon as Ashley jumps down, immediately tell her to get close. Because I've had her get grabbed whenever I don't tell her that, and she is a giant pain in the ass if she gets grabbed there. Because then you have 2 people wailing on you while you're trying to shoot the other person, and then you'll probably hit Ashley and kill her. Believe me, I'm speaking from experience. It's bad. I hate when Ashley gets grabbed, especially when your accurate option for most ammo that has is TMP, and people meme on that shit for its accuracy, so just know, your options are very limited. I do have the Magnum as well, but the bullets for that are kind of a bit more precious. Because of the next section that I have coming up in the cellar, I want to save some Magnum ammo, so I didn't want to burn through it all. I just happened to get 2 Magnum ammo while I was in the audience hall, which really helped. So Ashley stabs us and then runs off. Go figure. We spend all this time trying to save her, and she rewards us by absolutely destroying our tendons and our thumb. Still don't know how Leon can move his hand after blocking a knife by catching it with his hand, but whatever. And here, the designers were actually super nice. Grab all of the bass from this fountain. Like, even if you're full on items, if you have any useless ones, sell them at the merchant and grab these bass. They're actually really decent healing items. Also the rhinoceros beetle off the wall. 10,000 free gold for noticing that thing. So we grabbed the rest of our bass. I missed that one, but I will be back for it, don't worry. I may be blind, but I'm not that blind. And we had just the perfect amount of space for all of these bass, which will actually lead us through most of the castle. And then we grab our scratch jewel here just because it's free. It's right there. Free money, free spindles. So we're going to sell all of our just immediately sellable stuff. Get rid of all of our handgun ammo. Again, we don't have a handgun, so not really a whole lot of point in having the ammo for something that doesn't exist. I increased my rifle one more level just for having an extra bit of power for the next section. Because I figured the guy would be an asshole, because he usually is, we immediately buy the body armor too. It saves our ass more often than not, so definitely worth it. We definitely want to have as much damage potential as we possibly can whenever we go into the next room. Because of the red zealot, and I do end up saving before it. I never save at chapter ends just because there's so much stuff you can do at the start of the chapter before you save, and there's always a save section right after a chapter end, so there's no point in saving at a chapter end whenever you can do all the stuff that you need to do and then save, because otherwise you're just going to keep repeating that same monotonous shit over and over and over again every single time that you fail a section. So do what you need to do and then save. This guy, snipe him immediately in the face, and then start running. Go to the right. In retrospect, I should have just kept aiming to the right. Instead, I tried to look for the shot on this barrel, and this guy ended up grabbing me and cost me some health. I end up shooting the barrel because it will still stumble the dude up top a little bit. Kind of wish I had done it sooner, but then I just pull out the magnum and immediately blast him. So he's down. I have the key to exit this room, but I still want this treasure right here. And this particular gentleman was trying to offer me a seat, so I gave him one back through the table, and then we just hopped down. This guy kind of got a little close, but we ended up getting the dodge animation. Shoot through the little wooden divider there, and then just run. We're going to immediately put the lamp in, and then just run out of this room, because fuck this room in particular and everything it stands for. We don't need any items in there that are worth fighting through 10 plus Ganados for. So, we definitely don't want to mess with the zealots. So that's the cellar section. Now we're on to Ada and the introduction of the Aranya, the spider parasites. So I missed the lithograph in the cooking cauldron. I still get mixed up which difficulty where these things are placed, so if you're wondering, that's why. In certain difficulties, I believe they switch around, so I always forget which one is which, but the lithograph here in the cooking pot, we just grab that and then go over to the puzzle. Super simple puzzle. Basically just, if it can fit somewhere, it probably should go there. But it's hexagon helmet, square shield up top, square sword on right, and then hexagon armor on bottom. So, super simple. As soon as you're done, it'll just click and then you move on to the next area.
Alright.
And we're going to be entering into the El Gigante armored run, where you need to make it to the catapult, or the cannon, to deal with him. We're going to grab the small key on our left here just because it gives us a little bit of extra money in the middle of the run. So grab that, and then we'll be on to the El Gigante running section. This part, I just have my shotgun out. Give that guy a blast, it'll knock the parasite off, and then we can just run down the stairs and it'll de-aggro. Since the merchant's just kind of chilling down here, I guess they don't want to deal with him. Maybe he smells or something, I don't know. But they won't attack you in here. So we get rid of handgun ammo, get rid of all of our sellables. Same old, same old. Here I ended up opting to put some of my treasures together. You can, if you want to. I know I have some extra yellow diamonds later on, so I ended up just putting them in with the elegant bangle. And we do get a bunch of money there. So I ended up repairing all of my stuff. And then we're just going to be running for our lives, essentially. Again, if it looks like I'm unsure in menus on what I'm buying, it's probably because it's not choreographed, and this is probably one of the first times that I'm going through a section. So you can probably guess that nerves are sky high right here, especially with what happens in the middle of this run. So I make a flash grenade for the first part, and then I have a regular grenade for the second part, for the 2 skips that I'm going to do. So I have the flash grenade, and I start getting ready to throw it. I think it bounces off this giant-ass zealot head, and I don't get it deep enough to hit the plaga. I adjust by just hitting the dude with a shotgun blast to knock the plaga off it. It'll go and chase somebody else. Immediately run up the ladder, pull out the sniper rifle, and look through the right on the gate. Shoot a little bit to where this wall has that little decal section on the arch. Pull the lever. This guy just kind of forgets what the hell he's doing for a second, which is good, since we can just run out. Pull out the TMP, shoot the weight there. It'll knock the counterbalance out. Then we can just run through the gate. Here, kind of get shit on by the arc. Don't make it through. Don't have a backup grenade. Thinking to myself, oh shit, what do I do now? Start planning. Lead these guys over to the left. Run all the way back over. And then opt to pull this switch and do the level as normal from this point on. Since I kind of fumbled the grenade, I just had to think on the fly in that little room, so essentially we're just playing it the same as always now, so we're just doing the section as normal. So I'm going to run all the way through, watch the guy behind us, grab this green herb out of this barrel, and then this guy just insta-grabs us like an asshole. So there's a third of my health just gone. End up dealing with him so I don't have to sit in the spot with him while the El Gigante is going to throw some shit at us. Ignore the shield guy and run. I should have waited at the corner here. I figured I had enough time to make it, just maybe, but he ends up hitting me. And then the arrow guy hits me right as I get up, like an asshole. So, eat a fish, feel better. Doesn't matter, had fish. This guy right here, get parried, get kicked, run through the door. And here's where a little quirk actually costs me some health. If you aren't looking at an interactable, you won't interact with it. So I didn't pull the lever because I wasn't looking at it. And that guy hit me for about half my life. So. And then the arrow bitch hits me again. Yeah, I don't really care for arrow people. And then she decides to sit right in front of the barrel that I'm trying to shoot. Get the treasure on the top. Overall, out of all the ganados that can be the most annoying in this game, the arrow or the crossbow people are probably the top. They definitely are more annoying than most anything in this game, just for the sheer fact that they hit you, stumble you, something else will beat the shit out of you while you're stumbling. There's a lot of issue that I have with the stumbling of Leon in this one, particularly just length and the fact that more things can hit him while he's being hit, but that's beside the point. So we pull the switch, run up the, or get up the ladder, don't get shot, hopefully. Use the key in the small cabinet, get an ornate beetle, go over, hit the counterweight here after we hit the barrel. A girl will jump down the ladder. We just use our ladder invulnerability frames of mounting it to let her, I guess, take a free shot, and we didn't even feel it. Hit the counterweight there, hit this barrel, run up the stairs. You can actually make it in time to fire at El Gigante before he gets you, but I'm not even going to risk it. It would just be a waste of health if I didn't hit it. So I wait a second, just let him go through his rotation of throwing the rocks and then go out. And then I knew there was a lady behind me, so she's gone. And then we deal with the people at the door the same way. It'll just save us ammo if we use the cannon, so might as well opt to use the cannon. And there I knew that I heard some other stuff coming up the stairs, but I ended up just firing at the door to speed things along. In hindsight, should have just opted back onto the cannon and then immediately taken her out instead of wasting a shotgun shell, but it's not really that big of a deal. Ended up getting more shotgun shells out of this barrel anyways, so it didn't really do anything in particular to hurt. And that bow and arrow lady was, or not bow and arrow, crossbow lady was just kind of blocking her face for some reason, even though I wasn't aiming anywhere or particularly looking in her general direction at that point. But whatever, I'm not opposed to it.
Sorry, I've had my fill of you guys.
So now we're going to move on to the next chapter and meet Ashley.
Ashley, where are
So coming up is definitely going to be one of my lesser favorite things after we meet Ashley. The hedge maze. It's not so bad as it was in the original one. In this one, honestly, it's pretty damn easy. It's basically just a bunch of colmillos. The dogs, you don't really have to worry about really anything, especially since I have a lot of shotgun. But there we don't save at the chapter end, because there is literally a typewriter right here. There's no point in saving at the beginning of the chapter there. If you want to save, it's right there. You can clear out this room and then save, and then you don't have to worry about clearing out this room every time if you fail. So I ended up clearing out the room and then saving. I just really don't know why they put chapter saves in this game and then immediately a typewriter after the chapter. It's really strange. But yeah, we're going to start into the hedge maze. Like I said, just a bunch of colmillos, dogs. They don't really have a whole lot of health anyways. They can be kind of annoying whenever they jump out of the hedge maze, but they're always set where they're at. So we don't really have a whole lot of worries. We're going to go into the left path first before we ever start the first pull switch there. Because we can just get it later on whenever Ashley is having her moment, being stuck in between a bunch of people. But here's our first scripted one. Just immediately pull out the shotgun and blast it. It goes down, one shot, super easy. The reason I go this way is because you only need to deal with one dog for a first aid spray, which is super worth it. I just do it anyways, because why not? Like, one dog for a first aid spray that you know is coming is easily worth it. Like, there is no reason not to get that first aid spray unless you're going for a speed run. So now we get our free first aid spray. There will be the two dogs in the cage here. I tried to collateral them, but I ended up missing first one anyways, so I had to get the second one here. Just ended up shotgunning it. Super easy anyways. There's only two of them in that one, so you don't really need to worry. Around this corner, we're going to have one that pops out of the hedge maze, so just be prepared. And it's gone. Then we have two set ones, one straight ahead and one to our right. So deal with the one straight ahead, and then this one will jump on in. No idea how I didn't get knocked back by the first shotgun blast, but whatever, the second one just took it out immediately anyways. So then we run around the corner, there's the elegant chessboard in the chest here, so we're definitely going to take it. Then we go on to our first flyer pull, or banner pull. So we want to do this one first just to get out of the way, so it's not the very last one. Basically, just makes things flow a lot better if you do the far corner one first, and then do the one with the dogs covering it, where Ashley gets kidnapped, or attempted to be kidnapped, and then the last one in the very beginning. It just makes it all flow better, because by the time Ashley gets picked up, we're going to be doing something for a trick that just tells her AI, hey, by the way, you're not in your danger state anymore, where you need to stand in the middle of the maze like your legs don't work. Which is really annoying, because Ashley seems like she would be a decent person at, not getting caught, but then she sits there like an idiot. So we run around this corner, throw a grenade. There's going to be this one dog that actually lives, so I'm just going to opt to shoot it with another shotgun. While it's on the ground, we're going to get rid of it with a knife. Because one of them will mutate, we don't want it to happen. A colmillo with its stinger mutated is just really damn annoying, so we just opt to get rid of it as soon as possible. Command Ashley to flip the switch and then get ready for another scripted one. Immediately took it out with a shotgun blast and a knife. And that's the last of the Colmillos that we'll be seeing, so. Now we just go to where Ashley's opening the door and go and pull the banner. Once we flip this banner, Ashley's going to go into a distressed kind of scripted event where she just kind of sits in the middle of the damn maze like a genius, and then we need to go and save, or not go and save her, but we need to save her. So instead of actually running through the maze, we're just going to climb up this ladder, pull the banner, and then let her get kidnapped. Because we have a flash grenade, we can do something in particular to deal with the situation. I actually lifted this tactic off of speedrunners as well. I don't know the original developer of the tactic, but I've seen multiple people using it, so just to describe what's going on, Ashley is currently being kidnapped. So she is on the shoulders of one of the guys. You're going to want to wait until they get around this Yui in the hedge maze here. So he'll go forwards and then around the corner. Once you see him get around this corner, that's whenever you throw the flash grenade out the window. And then open the door while she's getting up. And she'll say, "Hey, where are you going?" And then she'll just teleport right behind you. There she is. Look, she was never kidnapped. It's a miracle. If only they had actually taken her. But yeah, the way that it works is Ashley has kind of a set boundary box to where she has her distress state in the maze. I tested it out like 15 times just to see where exactly would be the best place to throw the stun grenade after I saw people using that tactic. And whenever they round that corner there, it's just, it came out the most consistent, so that's what I wait for, is just them to loop around the corner and then throw it. So it ended up being relatively consistent. I hit it pretty much every time after testing, so just super simple. Just need a flash grenade, that's it. But here we're just going to upgrade all of our, or upgrade our case, upgrade our rifle, a few other things. I finally got the capacity upgrade for the rifle. Aren't you proud of me, guys? So yeah, now we have a better rifle. We're actually going to use the bolt action until the end of the game anyways. We never get the stingray, so I don't really worry about it. And honestly, you can skip the blue emblems. I try to go for them just for the hell of it. I mean, I kind of wanted the spinels, but at the same time, I forget where all the damn things are. And here you'll see me make a boo-boo. I accidentally tell Ashley to sit in the seat so she's not in her own, because I twitch-clicked the right stick, so she sits in my seat, to which I tell her, "Get the hell out of my seat." So she goes over there. And then I impatiently ding, waiting for her. So yeah, that puzzle never changes. Just always the same. Ashley in the far left corner of her table, and then Leon over in his corner. Just not that hard of a puzzle anyways. Just have to see the pictures on the wall and match the king and queen with Leon and Ashley respectively. So we grab our serpentine head and then just start working our way up. We do have a hand grenade for a skip for the lever in the next room, which is a lot simpler than I figured it would be. I figured there'd be like a time where you can do it. We get our first heavy grenade, which is good. We're going to need a few of them for the next chapter, so definitely want to hold on to those. But we're going to go into the gallery here. Just be sure to have your grenade out whenever you're going across the way here, and then as soon as you can, throw it over towards this lever. Part of me just loves activating the cutscene before I throw it, just because it looks funny as hell. Like, you know something's supposed to happen, but it doesn't. And then I just immediately get rid of the red zealot, because I don't like those guys. And it only takes 3 shots, so. But if he happens to stay alive, he will start aggroing all of the plagas in the room, so all of them will be mutated, which is a pain in the ass, so. I just opt to get rid of him. And eventually we do come back for his jewel anyways. Again, since we're not really doing a speed run, I'm going to be clearing out this room later, just for all of the materials. But I end up getting a kick and then we run by. Kind of surprised, honestly, Ashley made it through. Most times her AI is kind of dumb in the sense that she can't make it past enemies, like, has a really hard time. But I guess since that guy was a shield guy and can't really kidnap her, that she didn't really have difficulties there. And again, I'm kind of blind. I didn't notice that I had a red herb to combine with that green herb immediately off the bat, so. But we're just going to grab everything from this room. Just all of the green herb, all of the gunpowder, the small key, all of that. And we do have an emblem up in the top right here as well. Ended up getting all but one of them. Like I said, I ended up wanting to get them, but at the same time, I forget off the top of my head where the last one is. Like, I don't know why. Just can't remember where the sixth one is. So I just opted not to waste any more time with it and go on to the next part. Spindles are nice, but at the same time, they're not like super necessary or anything, so I didn't really worry about it. And here I just had some kitchen knives still, so I'm just like, I don't need them. And again, don't need a kitchen knife. Really don't need a kitchen knife. And since we don't have a handgun, I'm not worried about handgun ammo either. The more large resources that we have, the more heavy grenades we have, the more rifle ammo we have, so large resource definitely takes priority over a kitchen knife and handgun ammo. By all means. And again, this section, relatively simple if you have good aim, so I'm doomed. And immediately knocked that helmet off with some TMP shots, but then homeboy just decided to slice me in the face as I was going for the attack on his guy. So. And then I end up missing some shots. Because Lord knows I have good aim. Again, I play on controller, so not the best aim, but I know I could do better with mouse and keyboard, but it's a comfort thing. Just like Resident Evil with controllers. So, you know. It cost me some bullets. And by some, I mean about 25% of them, but still. We're just going to go through the section as normal. Just shoot the parasites that are peeking out of the armor sets, and then get rid of the parasites as their heads pop out of the night suits. I don't really remember this part dropping a ton of spinels, but this time they were just printing them. I don't know if they've always dropped spinels or not. Like, am I just oblivious, or have they always done that? I feel like they've always just done that, and I'm just oblivious. I felt like they dropped ammo and stuff before, but yeah. And here I just kind of keep trying to line them up with melee shots, so can get rid of both of them at the same time. This is one section where I particularly actually like Ashley, because she's just helpful. I kind of wish they had more sections like this. I think it would have really helped establish Ashley as like a, you know, more character. She did get quite a bit of character in this one, like character development. She went from being like super timid and shy to like really, really courageous. Well, can't really say really, really courageous, but she ended up being more confident as a person instead of just like timid. So it would have been really nice to see that character growth, like more helpful and all of that. But we end up getting all the helmets off of these guys, and since I do still have a flash grenade, I opt to do that just to get them all down at the same time. Single flash grenade is pretty worth it to get rid of 3 knights at the same time, I think. And Leon drops the bomb-ass best line in the game. Whoever said this game doesn't have terrible lines still, like the bingo line, they were wrong. It's still fantastic. So yeah, that's the Armadora's room. We do have the rat outside their room, so we got rid of both of those, the one in the dining room and here. Now we just need the one in Ashley's section, which I do go ahead and get because it's like super quick later on after we do Ashley's little survival section. Meanwhile, the merchant's just being his average, I think, Australian self? I think. I don't know if I'm gonna be like stupid for not knowing what accent that is. I think it is, but either way, merchant being himself, as is tradition. So we just use the cubic device on the treasure room, or the treasure box in the merchant's room, just because it's super simple, like right there. We can get it immediately. So now we have an extra butterfly lamp. We do kind of want to save the bigger treasures for later on whenever we get the elegant crown, because that'll give us the most money in the game. We don't actually go for the RPG strat on Verdugo. I actually found a exploit earlier on where you can just use the sniper on the elevator and it'll stick Leon's ass through the elevator and Verdugo can't target you, so super simple. I did actually find an exploit in his AI on my own as well, but it's just running around in circles for 4 minutes as to opposed to holding left trigger for 4 minutes, so I figured I'd just go with the sniper scope one. But Verdugo actually has an exploitable area in his AI as long as he's on the or underneath the floor. I've realized that if you run in circles between the experiment room and the nitrogen shower whenever you're first going to do the circuit breaker, if you just keep running around in circles there, whenever he's on the bottom, like underneath the grate, then he actually just keeps doing his tail attack through the floor. Because there's no area that he can pop up in between those two areas, it kind of like messes with his head, I guess, and he can't really do anything after that point. So it's kind of interesting. Most speedrunners are definitely just going to opt for the RPG strat, but other folks probably just going to opt for the scope or just fighting him normally. Verdugo's kind of a bullet sponge though, so I don't really opt for that route. But we cleared out everything in this room, and Ashley only got kidnapped once. Well, not everything, there's still a guy on the left, but we'll get rid of him. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in this room, so I definitely want to go and loot it. I think getting rid of all these guys is definitely worth it. Because there's a flash grenade, there's treasure, there's the red barrel up where the red zealot dropped it, there's green herbs, just a bunch of stuff. You get random stuff out of the vases and shit, but more often than not, you can get really good stuff in this room. So that's why I kind of opted to come back and start clearing it out. So we get yellow diamond here, and then there's also the red barrel up where the red zealot was. So that's 2 top tier treasures. So that's kind of why I opted to come back in this room. You don't have to. I end up with a ton more money than I really needed later on, so it's not really necessary to come back into this room. But we just end up grabbing his jewel and running out. Again, Ashley, sometimes she's right on your ass, other times it's like she forgets which one's Leon in a room and runs to a Ganado or a Zealot to immediately get kidnapped, so her AI is wonky as shit. Same with Luis's. His is pretty inconsistent from what I've realized. He's just kind of all over the place in performance. Sometimes he'll be there immediately shooting at stuff. Other times he's 5 miles away staring at flowers or something or whatever the hell he does. So we've gotten all of the heads so far. So now we just need to put them into the Chimera and then start Ashley's section. Which originally I wanted to save before or at Ashley's section. But then I just decided to YOLO it. Her section is super simple and supposed to be super easy, but I just died to it like twice, so at the same time, it's had me on edge. But I ended up just one-shotting it. Wasn't that bad. Just as long as you play it right, you don't really have too much to worry about. The biggest thing is just at the end for me, not so much the knights in the armory at the bottom where you go down the lift, but the knight at the end on the stairs that curve up. For some reason, I just can't get it through my head on how to pass him without him just immediately slapping my ass and killing me. So I ended up opting to just let him run down the stairs after me and then juking him. And insert oh dear comment, but yeah, since we know the passcode for the clocks and everything, we can just skip going through the room in the left. So 7 o'clock for harder difficulties, 11:04 for lower difficulties, I believe it was. So hardcore and professional, 7 o'clock. Standard and below is 11:04. At least I think standard was 11:04. Assisted is 11:04. I know that, but I don't know if standard's any different. I think that's still 11:04. I don't know why they decided to change that puzzle where it just flat out tells you what the time is for assisted and standard, but it's like, whatever. And these two guys won't ever really get close enough to you to worry about. So, don't have to worry about them. Just turn around the other way and be prepared for having the worst anxiety of your life if you haven't saved in a while.
Didn't I just say I was done?
Which, if anybody remembers, if I die at this point, I go back to the beginning of the hedge maze. Which, yeah, I agree with Ashley. It sucks. So, I opt for the strategy of back to front here, just because whenever you're doing this part, you don't want to start at the front and start activating all the knights just to run all the way back across the room with all of them trying to kill you, especially on professional whenever they're a bit faster. So, you hit the last gong and just run for your life, and once you're in this lit candle room, you're good. They can't follow you through. So now you just have to do the mausoleum puzzle, which is super simple. Just switch Ashley's default full moonlight for the crescent light, go over to the right and switch the crescent light for the starlight, and then put the starlight on the empty pedestal. Super simple puzzle, never changes on any difficulty. Don't even know if you can call it a puzzle, really. But then we just get the stag emblem, and then run the hell out of this room.
No, don't go out.
Because we don't have the light, we need to get out of here before shit starts hitting the fan, so. Then we have to dodge under these knights here. Simplest way to do this, just kind of run a straight path.
Good night.
This part's more scripted than anything. All of the knights will start activating, but really the only concern is the guy in the middle, but he's not really that big of a deal. So, we just run right past him. He's got a slow wind-up and everything. What we will want to do is this button and stuff as fast as possible, because these guys start booking ass on pro. And if they get close enough, they will smack your ass. So now we go up the stairs and meet the guy that had me with the sweatiest palms in history, because this is the last guy between me and a save for the last 25 minutes. So we just let him walk down the stairs because I'm not taking the chance of having to pass his ass. And then I kind of started off to the right to get his AI to like get wishy-washy, kind of unsure of which way I'm going, and then immediately hooked left as soon as I get near him. I'm not sure if it helped or not. In fact, it could have just hindered it, but at the same time it worked, so I'm not complaining. And since I didn't bust the bookcase out, we have to go to the left, duck under. Just run past these guys, since they're unaware that you're there. It's just better to get past them as soon as possible before they know you're there, and start running up the stairs, and they will follow you, so just keep running. And here, for some reason I was like, ooh, shiny, I want. But then I remembered, oh wait, I'm an idiot, I don't have the cubic device. So, insert the emblem, run out the door. And that's the end of that chapter.
Leon,
So now we don't have Ashley anymore. The game is fun again. Just kidding. I don't really mind escorting Ashley, but at the same time, holy shit, I wish her AI was a little bit more bright. Or at the very least, I could put her in a dumpster and not have to worry about her.
Same as ever.
Would be much better. But again, that rat and Ashley section we're just going to deal with really quick. Since it's like right here, it's not that far off the beaten path. Free spinels, so. Grab that really quick. We don't really worry about any of the other treasures in Ashley's section. They're not really worth the time. The assault rifle isn't really worth the time. Don't really care about anything else, so. Get the rat, go over to the merchant. We're definitely going to save since we went through all of that chapter. Basically, at this point, if I can make a save a chapter, then I'll consider it pretty good, since we have like 2 extra saves that I can use in mid-chapters. We're doing pretty decent. So at this point, I definitely want the heavy grenade recipe. I make the mistake and just leave the merchant like 2 times here, and then immediately think, oh wait, I forgot something. And then I come back and then, oh wait, I forgot something. I do it twice, so. But if you couldn't tell, usually the first playthrough, I'm indecisive about things, so. Notice that I forgot to save. Go back, save. Leave. Realize I forgot the heavy grenade recipe, which is basically essential for the Garadors coming up. Then think, oh shit, wait, need to go back. And you know, I did forget the treasure on the statue there, so just pointing that out. It's free, you can have it, but I forgot it. But hey, I'm blind, so. The mere fact that I completed this run at all is a miracle, so. But here, I know that I don't have enough gunpowders for my heavy grenades that I'm going to need, so I end up buying the gunpowders with the spinels. It's good to just have them back up for that. But the heavy grenades will save us so much time with the Garadors later. I actually lifted the strat from speedrunners again. Those guys, if you ever need a smooth and efficient way of dealing with a room, look for a speedrun of the game. They'll usually help you out pretty well. And Lord knows it's consistent if they're using it more often than not, so. TMP is actually super good for Novistadors that are over holes, because they'll fall. It just stumbles them super quick and makes them fall to their deaths. So, really good. End up doing that. Go up the stairs to the left, get the first aid sprays and stuff. You can actually do the sniper trick through the door to end up halfway down this room, but I just opt not to. Novistadors are a pain in the ass, but I'm so inconsistent with the sniper trick that it wouldn't save me enough time anyways, so I just end up running. And all these Novistadors are over a hole, so I knew I could get rid of most all of them immediately. So I just end up doing that and then running down. And you'd appear out right at that door over there, so if you do the sniper trick, you'll save like 10 seconds if you're fast at it, but I am not. Well, it's more like 20 to 30 seconds, honestly, but I'm not fast enough at it to save any time whatsoever anyways. Novistador room, definitely a pain in the ass. If they start just molly-whopping your ass all over the place, then you can lose health like no other, and they can be really annoying. So, there, just lost pretty much 2/3 of my health immediately, but just keep running. This guy decided to plant his ass right in front of me, so I just opted to knife him to get him off me. And he took a shitload of my knife durability, but I just kept running. Then he decided to slap me in the ass, but I still end up getting this treasure and the hand grenade that's sitting there, which is good in hindsight because I do need a hand grenade along with the 3 heavy grenades that I'm going to need for the Garadors. So, ended up being a good thing that I ended up grabbing that along the way along with the treasure. Here we have 2 Novistadors that are camouflaged. I hit the second one, but not the first one, of course. And here, flash grenade. Don't know why it was so inconsistent with not hitting the dude behind me, but it ends up costing me a hit on my ass. So that was good. Flash grenades, I've come to realize, if enemies are behind even a sliver of cover, it just doesn't work. It kind of sucks, but they're still really good. I mean, Their consistency is good enough to where it doesn't really matter. It makes up for it more than not because you can blind everything in a room more often than not. So we're going to be going on to the Garador's room. Definitely want to make those heavy grenades. You can take the room on relatively easily normally. You just kind of don't run around, don't make a shit ton of noise. You don't have to worry about it a whole lot. So here I just make 2 extra heavy grenades. Definitely going to want those. And the 1 regular grenade that I'm going to have. I set their shortcuts. So you want 3 heavy grenades, 1 regular grenade. If you want to get rid of them both at the same time. You could also just use the 3 heavy grenades and then deal with them with regular methods like sniper or whatnot, and it'll still work out relatively quickly. I just wanted to get rid of both of them immediately, just to not deal with the whole swiping throughout the room, almost insta-killing my ass with a hit kind of thing. So, and I do wait for them to unchain themselves, which takes a few of your shots to do. As you can see, starting to break free back there. So I'm going to run up here to grab the bell. And that 1 Ganado blocks that guy, which is kind of funny because he just goes apeshit on him. So shoot the bell. I should have been back further so I don't get stunned by my own grenades, but at the same time it didn't really matter because it stuns these guys each time. But then 3 heavy grenades and a regular grenade takes them both out. Don't walk near them while they're dying because they still have attacks while they're dying. Fun fact, I actually lost a run to one of the Chainsaw Sisters because they have active frames on their chainsaws whenever they're dying too. So, yeah, some dying enemies still have active hit frames while they're dying, so you definitely want to avoid that if you can. Because it'll just cost you free hits in the end. So, chainsaw enemies, Garadors, I don't think there's any others in particular that have active frames when they're dying, but could be wrong. Not off the top of my head that I know of, but those 2 enemies in particular are definitely assholes whenever they're dying. They try and take you with them, so to say. Especially the chainsaw ones, because they're just kicking around and revving the chainsaw on the ground, but it can still hit you. It's just really wonky looking. So some people may not be aware. But yeah, they will hit you while they're going down. Don't let it happen. It's just free damage that you're taking. But we got the 2 unicorn horns from the Garadors, so we're going to put those into the statues. Basically just opens the door and lets us go into the next area with Verdugo's fight. First we have to go through the Novistador area, which there is another skip in, but I wasn't practiced in it and didn't really care to skip such a short section anyways, so I didn't really worry about it. I had enough shotgun shells to make it through the Novistador area relatively comfortably, so I just opted to go through the regular way. I believe the way that you do it is just looking near the hole and then swiping one way or the other to get his aim like off center, so he just crawls through the wall instead, but I don't know in particular how it works. Like I said, I've never done it. I've seen it done, but I've never put it to concept. So, if anybody knows how to do it, they can explain it, but I just know that it exists where you can crawl through the wall on the right here, and then just skip the Novistador section. So, pretty interesting, but I just opt not to. Again, you get like 4 Novistador attacks, so it's not really that hard of a section. But it does save a lot of time if you do the skip. There's the one right here, which somehow didn't hit it with a shotgun. If they turn invisible, just watch for the water ripples. They can turn invisible, but they can't hide their activity. So, they still interact with objects like water. So Leon got pretty lucky where he's at. So yeah, if one of them hits you and then escapes, quote unquote, then all you need to do is watch where the water ripples. So the first one attacks you right after the crawling section. The next one is right here. It can go left or right. It's kind of wonky, but if you don't see it turn visible and start flailing, then it's probably still alive and you want to hit it again. There's a left and a right path. We're going to go to the left. We go on to the left. There's this one right here. That one was taken out immediately. Like I said, if they start flailing, then you'll know. There's actually a fish you can get here too, if you end up taking a few too many hits. So if you want a fish in this area, you can just look around for it after you deal with that Novistador relatively freely. But we're going to grab the Elegant Crown, since it's going to give us probably the most money in the game. With our red barrels and our yellow diamond, we're going to take it. But we're going to grab the yellow herb here because it's like 2 seconds off the beaten path. Go ahead and mix it with our red and green. And we're going to work our way up into the Verdugo fight. And Leon just decides to start coughing for some reason. I assume it's because Salazar sent Verdugo after him, and he kind of got signal jammed, so to speak. But we're definitely going to want the treasure hanging above at this pipe here. We can just knife it, save some bullets, and that'll give us a red barrel, which we can use for our crown here. I actually opt to use one of the spinels for the last red barrel, so then we get the most amount of money that we can out of it. Since we have 2 yellow diamonds and 3 red barrels at that point, we're going to be getting a shit ton of money out of the crown. So I go ahead and grab that, and then combine them, and then we just end up with a ton of money. We could opt to get the RPG at this section, but like I said, I'm not really going for a speed run, so I just opt to just save the money. If I needed it later on, then I could use it, but I didn't really need it because I know I can get through Verdugo relatively safely. Well, extremely safely, honestly. I just make it a little bit less safe with collecting ammo and items. But even still, he doesn't really insta-kill you or anything. He does do quite a bit of damage if he hits you, but nothing that'll insta-kill you, so. I'm not too particularly worried about Verdugo. In fact, you could see me thinking there for a second, like, should I save? But then I just decided, I don't need to save, I'm just going to go for it. Verdugo is not that hard of a fight once you get him down. There's so many things that you can do to just bypass him or exploit him that it's not really that big of a deal. You can buy an RPG, immediately take him out, and get a return of like 30,000 pesetas, I think. I think that's what the monocle is worth, but if you don't, you can just use the strategy that I'm using where you plant your ass in the elevator grate and then he can't hit you. You can also just, like I said, run around in circles in that corner where I just hit that box. As long as he's on the bottom, you can exploit his AI to where it'll just keep attacking from underneath the floor. If he's on the top, it doesn't work because then there's a drop down area that he can come into and his AI will eventually just tell him, hey, drop down. So we're just going to run all the way to the end. He has 2 scripted attacks, one right there and then another one in the next room where he attacks from the ceiling. So just dodge him and run towards the breaker. Grab the shotgun shells off the barrel here. And then go ahead and pull the breaker. We're going to run and get this green herb over here because we won't be running back this way. I actually miss it there, so I go ahead and grab it here and then immediately hit the liquid nitrogen shower. He tries to attack us, but he'll run through. We don't need to worry about him after that point. We can just immediately run to the valve and open it. I've never had him attack me while I'm opening this valve. I think there's a trigger that tells him once he's frozen by the liquid nitrogen and you're over here that he just ends up in the ceiling again and starts trying to attack you. But the quicker we get the elevator going, the quicker we can just be out of this room. So we start the elevator sequence countdown. We're going to go into the room on the right here. I should have opted for the left because then I actually go backwards to get the stuff. But if you want to go to the left first, you can. I just end up grabbing everything in this room because it's a ton of ammo just laying on the floor. So it's definitely worth it. Then Verdugo drops down to our left there. So we kind of just went out of that room after I clear all the stuff. Go over here and get the yellow diamond and the first aid spray. Which I actually missed the gunpowder there. which was kind of unfortunate, but at the same time, it's like, whatever, we end up with a ton more gunpowder than we need. So now we're going to run back to the experimentation room with the guy on the table. Here I just end up hitting this liquid nitrogen shower to slow him down, because it'll kind of hold him in place for a bit. So now we just aim down at the floor and plant our ass into the grate in the elevator. And that's essentially the Verdugo fight. This just has Leon's hitbox through the grate, so Verdugo doesn't really know where we're at. I think it essentially puts you off the map, which Verdugo kind of scans for sections. If I had to assume how his AI works, he probably works on like sectors where he can pop up and disappear to ambush you. But since your ass is through the grate on the elevator, you essentially don't exist, so his AI is like, nah, I don't know, dude, he's just gone. That's just assumption, though. I don't really know in particular how his stuff works. And again, whenever I do the exploit with his AI, if you're going around in circles whenever he's on underneath the floor, it seems to be kind of telling of how he works. So he kind of tracks you. If you didn't know, in this fight, you can actually see him through the ceiling and the floor, depending on which one he's in. So there's grates above you and grates below you. If you look up or down, Verdugo will actually, you can see his like glowing eyes and big fucking insect looking ass through the ceiling or the floor, following you the whole fight. So you can kind of get an idea where he's going to attack from or where he could pop out of. A lot of the time, he'll pop out of the walls or ceiling vents, that sort of thing. Just kind of gives you an idea of where he's at. This whole fight, though, is basically just looking down a sniper scope. You can skip about 4 minutes ahead if you wanted. So, not really much to say about it. Verdugo's not a super hard fight in this one, and if you do try and fight him normally, just know that he's a bullet sponge in all means of the word, in basically every difficulty. Like, even with the liquid nitrogen being his weakness, and eventually knocks them all out, he's just so much of a sponge, he's not worth fighting normally. Like, he's basically the intelligence check of, do you want to waste ammo? Yes, shoot me. And if you do, you won't have any ammo for any of the other sections coming up, so good luck, pal. It's either that or running from him for 4 minutes, which running from him for 4 minutes just involves looping him back and forth over and over again, eventually hitting him with all the nitrogen showers and then having none left, and then eventually being desperate enough to just run for your life the entire time. So, Verdugo isn't really a extreme fight. It's more of a hide and seek or RPG him. That's basically the ways that you can get rid of him. RPG or hide and seek. So, not a super hard fight, but it is over, so we'll continue on to the next chapter with Luis. So we're gonna go up the lift, meet with Luis. He'll basically say, we have to rescue the princess, that sort of thing. But this section in particular, I am so glad that I actually beat this chapter with this playthrough, because holy shit was it a butt clencher and chaotic. Like, there was no strategy involved, there was just me running for my fucking life the entire chapter. And I am so glad that I went through this chapter and beat it with this playthrough. Because, oh my god, the two chainsaw people were just absolutely terrifying the entire time. You'll see what I mean whenever I get there. Like, this was my first attempt at this section. And it was... You can tell. There was no remote amount of choreographed movement. There was nothing in particular that was skilled about this section. It was just pure, absolutely terrifying chaos, and I loved every second of it. Like, if anybody ever asks me what I live for in a game, it's butt-clenching moments that you have absolutely no control over, but still somehow come out on top. And that is the epitome of this section. And I loved it. Like, the entire time, I wasn't doing live commentary, but I was definitely shitting and screaming myself into a coma. That's how terrifying it was at points. Like, you'll see moments and think, oh my god, he's dead. And then I'll be like, oh my god, I am so dead. And then still somehow come out. Meanwhile, Luis the entire time is just like, hey man, you've got this. Cuidado, watch out for the chainsaws. Meanwhile, yeah, I'm internally panicking, externally panicking. Leon's probably like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Luis is just smiling in the corner. Insert the fucking meme with Nick Cage and what's his face, where he's just smiling at him the whole time while he looks pissed off. So yeah, this was my first attempt. I kind of just went for it. So there's one chainsaw that kind of spawns behind you, and then the other sister up here. If you go to the right, it's not really that big of a deal. She'll miss most every time. But then Homeboy decides to come in hot, like literally hot, and start chasing me down. So I just went out of this door, and I expected the door to kill me here. Barely get through. This guy throws dynamite, blows himself up and me. Chainsaw guy right in there. Fucking animation saves me. I start running for my life into a corner. The other guys are setting him on fire. Now he's trying to kill me. Gets so incredibly close. Luis is blocking the other chainsaw lady. She's swinging into his head. Stops swinging as soon as I run past. I'm shitting myself. And then I run to the dynamite and think, oh my god, mi corazon, I'm going to die. That entire section was just the epitome of holy shit. And then it's still coming back because this guy grabs me as there's two chainsaw people about to ram it into my ass. Like, oh my god, it couldn't get much worse. So needless to say, that whole section, I went through about 8 lives. I'm not even a cat. So I'm technically -7 dead. But they stopped chasing me, so I placed the dynamite, immediately put it in there, and then just run back to safety and think, God, I hope this run actually goes through, because that terrified me. And I hope it terrified everyone else, because I was clenching my ass cheeks the entire time that I think they inverted. So yeah, after that horrifying turn of events, time to go into the El Gigante fights. So, needless to say, we're over the hump and onto the mountain. So, first unarmored guy, we're gonna throw a flash grenade, immediately stun him, and get rid of him down the pit. Then we only have one guy to worry about who can absolutely half health us with a punch. So, we want Luis to go get the dynamite as soon as possible. He's kind of having a moment with him over there getting kicked in the face by a probably 2-ton foot. So yeah, now he's just going to leave us while this guy is just going to chase us. But it's okay, because he fires one last shot before he goes into its knee plating. So, I feel so much better. Thank you, Luis. You did so much damage to him, as he kicks me in the fucking skull. So we have plenty of healing items. I'm not too concerned with El Gigante here. Don't really need to worry about him. As long as he doesn't just like absolutely combo our ass. We kind of want him to get across the way. And yeah, he does this little area sweep attack. God, I hate that thing so much. But we just want to get back over to the place where Luis is going to jump down. So because we know he's going to be there after about 15 to 20 seconds, we just want El Gigante to get over here as soon as possible so we can shoot the dynamite on his back. And he comes in hot because he shoulder charges into it. So that immediately starts that cutscene, which is nice. And then we shoot the dynamite on his back. He goes down on top of the plating, and you can probably guess where he's going. Because we don't have a whole lot of options for destroying him the easy way, which is the upgraded broken butterfly essentially is the only way at this point. And I don't want to spend the money on the broken butterfly whenever I can do the cheaper option of just dunking them in lava. So I opt to dunk them in the lava. Just super quick, super easy, gets them out of the way. Doesn't cost us a whole lot of ammo, if any. So just a really simple, fast way. But now we're going to help Luis up and over, and he's going to open the door for us. Then we're going to go on to the Disney theme park ride. I guess I shouldn't say Disney. I might get copyright infringement, huh? Oh well. Anyways, we go on to the amusement park section in the minecarts. And honestly, I thought about saving before Krauser after this, because I know most people probably haven't seen my first playthrough, but Krauser killed me like 4 or 5 times on my hardcore playthrough, and then like 14 times in his second phase, like second fight. So Krauser was actually one of the things that I feared the most in this, and I passed him both times on the first try. And I know a lot of people say that Krauser's fight is super simple and like really easy, but I still love his fights, just because it forced me to get good, so to speak, at parrying. Especially in this case, I love how the Krauser fight went on this, in this difficulty, because it basically epitomed what I did the first time on hardcore, where Krauser absolutely put me in a corner with barely any options, and I did it again, but I passed it the first time. It was almost like having practice for this run. So the minecart section, pretty easy. If you see a turn coming up, just lean the other way, or lean with the turn, so to speak. So your minecart doesn't go off the rails. Anytime there's a shooting section, we don't have to worry about ammo, because for some reason we use Luis's pistol in this. Not really sure why. He lets us use his, but we do. But it has infinite ammo, so go crazy with it. If aim is something that you're worrying about, just make sure you hit your shots. If you're not worried about aim, you have unlimited ammo, so don't worry about how much ammo you're using. Again, not a super hard section. You can take, I believe it's like 4 bolt hits before it destroys your cart, so you have a lot of leeway. The guys are super inaccurate with the crossbows and the carts, and more often than not it'll take them a shot or two before they actually hone in their aim, so not really super worrisome. And whenever you get in the new minecart, it increases the health of the cart again, since you're in a new one, so makes it super simple. Biggest guys to worry about are the ones that are on the tracks with the dynamite and hitting the levers. The crossbow guys aren't that big of a deal. So like this guy, just get rid of him. I'm not really sure why he's standing on the damn tracks to begin with, but that's on him. But the levers especially you want to hit. Always go for the levers as soon as you can, because those things will actually insta-kill you if you don't hit them, so. But yeah, super simple scripted section. Never changes. As long as you practice this a few times on really any difficulty, it's not really that big of a deal. The guys always die in one shot, no matter what difficulty, so super simple. You just got to get used to the red 9. If you don't use the red 9 a whole lot, it just has absolutely horrible recoil, so you can't really like fan fire it. So you just kind of have to wait a second in between shots to let it readjust in, unless you just spam fire it and hope to the gods that it ends up hitting. Here I thought this section was pretty funny. This guy hits me with a pitchfork, and then his buddy's like, hey, don't hit my friend, throws his dynamite out the door and blows his friend up. So He dealt with him for us. That was good. So I go in and thank him by shooting his dynamite. I think he liked it. So we just go ahead and loot everything in this room. We grab the flagon, still not really sure on the pronunciation of that thing. I think it's flagon, but who knows. Grab the treasure out of the box. We'll just go with that. It's free money sitting there. It takes about 10 seconds to grab, so just easy enough to get. Then we go ahead and Sancho it up by pushing the cart for him. And we're on to the next section, which is a teeny bit more dangerous than the last one just because of the chainsaw guy, but as long as you just spam bullets into his head, you don't really have much to worry about the chainsaw guy. And again, you always want to be looking out for which way you need to lean the cart. It's a decently troublesome thing, but I've never actually died to the cart tipping over, so I don't really worry about it a whole lot. But we'll deal with the arrow guys over on our right, and then start shooting at the chainsaw guy's cart here. For those that don't know, you can actually destroy the cart. So, if we get as many bullets as we can into it before, then we don't really have to worry about it. And there I missed, so we're down a fourth of our health on our cart, but there is this guy in the front, so I shoot his dynamite. And Luis being an absolute psychopath, which is great. I love it. I'm glad that they gave Luis more sections in this, because holy shit is he just great in general as a character. They really bumped his stuff up, and I can never hit this barrel. I don't think I've ever hit that barrel in that cart from that distance. I don't know why, I just can't. But we do want to hit the barrels before we go into the next tunnel, just to clear them out of the way, otherwise they blow us up, which is bad, if anyone wasn't aware. But here comes our chainsaw guy. See him start revving, just start shooting him, and then just keep shooting his cart. Here we have all these bow guys, get rid of them as soon as possible, and then just start shooting the chainsaw guy's cart again. And he'll start revving again, and we just start shooting his cart again. Here I just kind of let the aim hone in, and then shoot them. But then we get rid of the chainsaw guy by shooting his cart, and he's gone. We don't have to worry about him in the last section. So now it's just kind of a quote-unquote peaceful ride to the end, except for one last lever that we need to hit. And that's essentially the end. And now you can see where they dug the bugs up, which I'm sure isn't a meme by now. All I can think is giant mushrooms when I see this room. So now we're going to go through Novistador Hell, which is just fantastic. I opt not to shoot the nests on the ceiling just because whenever I did it, it seemed to spawn the Novistadors in higher numbers. So I said, screw that, isn't worth the spinels. So just opted to book ass through this section as quick as possible, just to not deal with as much Novistadors as possible. So get rid of the first camouflaged one here, run through the tunnel on the right. Grab the yellow herb as we go in. And again, name of the game is basically just fast and quick. Just trying to get through this section as soon as possible. The less Novistadors that we have to deal with, the less chance of them fucking slapping the shit out of us. Which they still do. I have no idea how that barrel didn't go off, but at the same time, whatever. Cost me a shotgun shell. And then they just start whopping my ass from behind, but just use a full heal there. I start grabbing all the materials out of here. And then Luis takes the shot. But get rid of the Novistador there. There's a camouflage one here. Want to get rid of it. shoot this explosive barrel to open up the treasure chest on the other side, which we'll go and get. And it also deals with the Novistador on the right, so really good. We get a golden log of shit, is what it looks like every time I see it. I can't unsee that. And then open up these barrels, grab everything out of them. Novistador, for some reason, I've never had this guy be here, but this time he was just chilling, like right behind me as I grabbed the stuff. So I figure I can take one more hit. We're at half health, so I just opt to not heal. I do take out this guy just in case one of them was swinging on me. I had the animation of being invulnerable. So then we duck into the merchant's place, and that's basically the end of the Novistadors. They kind of all just take off wherever. So we sell our golden turd and all of our handgun ammo. We don't need the handgun ammo, as always. We don't have a handgun, so we're going to increase the power of our knife since we're going to be knife fighting Krauser coming up. So we do want to max that out just for more stabby stab power. Kind of helps us out. Krauser has an obsession with knifing people, so we definitely want to help that along by knifing him as much as possible. And here, I kind of wanted to save. I was 50-50, like, Krauser whooped my ass so many times in my hardcore run that I was very concerned that he would whoop my ass whenever I need to perfect parry everything that he does. But I just opted to wing it, and it somehow worked out, I guess, so I'm not upset that it did. But Luis is thankful for elevators, that's cool, but we need to go fast, so now Luis is Krauser. And we need to knife fight him. So, Krauser, for the most part, he's not that difficult of a fight. It's more just timing than anything, especially whenever it comes to just him in particular. Krauser's just the rhythm game of this game. And I don't let myself get down under like a third more often than not with Krauser, just because his grab deals a shit ton of damage and he will insta-kill you if you're low health. I came to know that from facing him like on hardcore. Like his grab attack is just absurd. And it will fuck you up. So we definitely don't want him to do that. So we get him with the super kick. And again, just... it's basically always just watching the bottom right for the little flash of the knife, or getting used to just blocking his stuff as it comes. And here we're in crit, so we definitely don't want him to grab us at that point, because he will just flat out murder us. But we do end up beating him with just 2 health items used, so I'm really happy with that. First time I fought him, he took like 6 and still killed me, so only taking 2 for Krauser, and he gives us back some, is really good. He gives us a full heal with a red herb and a green, or 2 green herbs, so just really good. Didn't have a whole lot of complaints with it. Krauser as a fight, super difficult for me in particular, just because I'm not really good at parrying. For people that can parry, or people that play Dark Souls a lot, they're probably like, haha, get good nub. Which, yeah, I'm not good at parrying. I'll be the first one to admit it. I suck at parrying. Even in this game where the frames are like super lenient, I'm pretty sure you have like half a second to parry things. Meanwhile, in Dark Souls, it's probably like 5 to 10 frames or some shit, but here, yeah, I'm just not good at parrying. I've never been good at reaction stuff like that. I've never been good with counter moves, that sort of thing. So, yeah. If you ever see me struggling with Krauser, that's probably why. That's why I like his fight, because parrying for me is difficult. Here we can grab the small key out of the chest there. It's It's basically just free money. We don't really use it, but again, it's free. And we will run into the Novistador room just to grab the ornate beetle sitting over in the corner here. It's basically a free walk. Since everything in this room is dead, we can just go ahead and grab the ornate beetle out of the chest and then run right back in. And I did end up getting magnum ammo. You'll see me not fill... Actually, I do fill the broken butterfly, never mind. I thought I didn't, but I'm not worried about the Killer 7 yet. We get that later. But for now, I just filled the magnum. So it was nice to also get magnum ammo from the broken vase there. So we're just going to repair all of our stuff and get ready for the clock tower. Which again, I feel is like copyright infringement somewhere. Clock tower in a Resident Evil game is funny as hell, but... But yeah, basically the clock tower, not a super hard section, it's actually pretty decently consistent. The problem that I had with this section, I wanted to get past Salazar and the clock tower together, but I always missed the damn gold egg on Salazar. I shit you not, I missed it 3 times and spent probably about 45 minutes getting back to the boss fight those 3 times just to miss the damn egg because I was trying to hit some shots before I threw it, but it took so long for me to pull the egg out and throw it that I couldn't hit it consistently, so I just ended up saying screw it, throwing the egg first and then just unloading the broken butterfly into his ass, and that worked out 20 times better than the strategy I had before where I was trying to hit him with a shot or 2. So needless to say, this section is relatively choreographed. I ended up doing it like 4, 5, 6 times, something like that. So I got pretty decent at where the enemies were and what I needed to do. It kind of came down to RNG in some sections, but that's a given. So yeah, we deal with these guys at first with the rifle ammo, just because we have a shit ton of rifle ammo. We can afford to use it. It's also our strongest weapon except for the butterfly maybe, but if we can hit headshots with our rifle, then we're definitely just capping things heads off. But we're going to go back to the left. There's going to be treasure back here, the gold that we want to get. Just free money. Takes like 15 seconds. Just want it. Go ahead and grab all the barrels down here. We already took care of the crossbow lady up the stairs, so we don't need to worry about her, but we can grab the items that she dropped, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. The Salazar statue, nobody's probably seen the first playthrough that I did, but I didn't notice that it had the explosive barrel in the back of its head, so I just sat there running through fire the entire time like a moron. But here we're going to clear out this lady at the end of the walkway, clear out this guy over here, and then clear out the other lady just sitting on the walkway. Because they don't react whenever we just snipe, so it gets rid of 3 enemies, makes the area a little bit more smooth. Now we're going to have a guy behind us and a shield guy in front of us, so we want to get rid of the scythe guy behind us since he's faster. Shield guys are relatively slow. So I deal with the scythe guy and then get ready for the shield guy. So we hit the shield guy with a blast of the shotgun, knocks him down, and since our knife is upgraded, we have more stabby stab power, so we can get rid of him relatively easy with finisher of the knife. Here, just have the 2 scythe guys. I opt to hit them with a shotgun blast, run past the shield guy, and then hug this scythe guy so he doesn't hit us. So I kind of run to the right to avoid him. This lady grabbed me and killed me multiple times, so I just opt to get rid of her. Here, scope in, put your ass against the railing, watch the ball go by, and then run. I believe it was Bakba Soup that did that strategy first, but if somebody can elaborate, then by all means. So yeah, not my strategy, I just got it from someone else. But it is incredibly consistent, so it is really good to use. I've never had it not work, as long as you plant your ass against a railing and scope in and down. So now we have the lift section. We don't really have to worry about all the guys that were following us, thank God. Here, RNG decides to cuck me. I had about a 75% chance to hit him. There it hit him, and then it missed again, so RNG was a bitch today. Otherwise, that guy would have been dead, and you wouldn't have to worry about the blurry effects on the screen, but here we are. RNG said no. So wait for these guys to kind of line up, and then shoot the barrel next to him, more often than not, but I already took out 2 of them with the last barrel, so it didn't really matter. These guys, you can actually wait for them to start jumping onto the lift, but I just kind of shot them back to stop them from jumping at all. But if you wait until they're mid-air, you can actually push them back with the TMP, which I tried to do, but ended up missing. And the archers are definitely annoying as hell at this point, but I just flip that guy, shoot him. The archer is still over there, so I just stop her from shooting me for a second while this guy's playing with my damn head. And I do try and get rid of this guy with a few shots, but ends up not really working. I do make myself more shotgun shells just to get stuff off the elevator if need be. And again, I think RNG actually made me miss his head by quite a wide margin. But here, we actually do have enough room to run away from this guy, so I do in this tiny ass little space and then just shotgun him. And then the twins show up, I get my head fucked with, so my aim goes down, of course. Throw this guy, that guy's turning, so get him off the elevator as soon as possible and then stab his twin. And just to stop that guy from fucking with my head for half a second. The red zealots can definitely be annoying whenever they start messing with your head, just because they lower your aim. It's just really annoying. And I don't know how this man was taking so many bullets, but he was. He ate a sniper headshot, a magnum shot, like everything under the sun, basically. And again, just more dodging. End up hitting that guy in the head and kicking him off. Then we have the lady here. Just stab her in the neck. And then we have to heal. Well, actually, I don't heal. Never mind. I remember now. I wait until the yellow herb, which was kind of dumb in retrospect. If I had gotten hit by, like, anything else, would have killed me. That arrow actually wouldn't have because I have body armor still, but if anything else hit me, I would actually die, so. But I do know that there's a yellow herb coming up, so I just opt not to use my red and my green, so that way I can get more health. It'll just be more effective health that I'll have. So I figured that would be the best play. So we have the 2 snipers over here. Deal with one. Deal with the other. There will be a third one that pops out, but we don't have to worry about her yet. We do want the yellow diamond that's hanging here, so we're going to go ahead and grab that. And this part, I actually don't know if you can't run here or not, because I've never actually tested it. Even on the first time, I figured it was a walking area because it gives you that little subtle Leon's like, oh shit, this is really unstable. So I just never ran. I figured I'd have a nitro situation like RE Remake, where I just blow my ass up if I ran. Got PTSD and didn't want to do it. So, didn't opt for testing. Maybe I will one of these times, I kind of need to. But if anybody knows if you do actually die, let me know. I'm kind of curious. But that last sniper shows up. We get rid of her with our sniper. And here we're actually going to resell, or we're going to sell the broken butterfly to buy it back because it fills the ammo. So we bought it for like 30 grand and we're selling it for 21. So essentially we get a refill on it just for buying it again. So it costs us like 20 grand for a full magazine, or a full chamber of magnum ammo in it. So I just upgraded a few times and like the most that we can, so we have the most amount of power in it. And we still have our golden egg from chapter 3, so we're definitely going to use that. Or chapter 4, I mean. Yeah, that's right. because we had already defeated Del Lago at that point. But yeah, we've been holding on to this egg for a long ass time, and we're finally going to use it. So we skip the cutscene, he comes in, gives us a peek, says hi, we throw an egg in his face, and then shoot it. And he's dead. that was Salazar on professional difficulty. So he's gone, we're gonna loot his room, steal his lip rouge, of course. He doesn't need it anymore, he was pretty enough. So we're going to put on the lip rouge. No, I'm not going to continue with that joke, but basically we're just going to take it to sell. That's 24,000 pesetas, so we basically make back a shitload of the money we spent on the broken butterfly upgrades. So yeah, that was all it took. 1 golden egg and 6 magnum shots that we got from the merchant. So really, really good investment to keep that golden egg from chapter 4, like, no matter what. It's 1 inventory slot, and it takes, like, all of his health. It's just really good. Like, there's no reason not to have that golden egg. But now we're going down the elevator. Good time to refill weapons, dance a little, check out Krauser and his big-ass boat that I wish we had, but we have a smaller boat. But here, we're going to go down, and we're going to see the thing that probably jump scared me the worst whenever I originally played this. Which is kind of funny, in retrospect. Like, that thing scared the shit out of me whenever I first played this. And also, fun fact, they don't spawn on standard difficulty. So if you play standard and then you play hardcore or professional, you won't know that those guys are there, and they will absolutely terrify the shit out of you, I'm sure. Because that's what happened to me. So yeah, developers having a bit of fun with people, deciding to be dicks, which I commend them for. I'm glad that they put additional placements somewhere to, like, you know, mess with people. So we're going to go on to the next chapter. We don't really see Ada because, well, we don't really watch any cutscenes. We had a nice accuracy on chapter 12. So that's good. And skip the next cutscene. We don't really see Ada a whole lot in this particular run. Except for the very end where she throws us the rocket. But we don't really see her any other times. So we're just going to run along the cave, go up to the right before we go to the merchant. Because we want to clear out the area before we save at the merchant. I mean, it's just a given. Don't save at chapter ends. Like I said, there's always a typewriter before anything happens. So you're just condemning yourself to doing mundane, terrible, menial shit over and over again if you save at a chapter end, if you happen to fail a section. So never save at a chapter end. Like, there's no point. Except for chapter 2, there is never not going to be a typewriter right outside of that chapter end. And you can do stuff after the chapter end that you don't want to keep repeating over and over again. So yeah, just don't do it. I mean it. So we're going to sell all of our stuff, all of our small keys, Salazar's lip rouge. Makes him sound like he's fucking ripped his pants, like, while he's luging or something, but... So yeah, we sell all of our stuff, essentially. Don't really care for the case upgrade yet. We have a big enough case where we don't really need to worry about it. Plus it gets cheaper later after Krauser, so... Really not worried about upgrading the case. It's plenty big as is. But I will save the game, since we went all the way from the beginning of the clock tower to all the way here. Figured that was good enough. We still have 4 saves left, and we have 3 chapters, so I end up hauling my ass all the way through chapter 13 before I save again. And then chapter 14, relatively simple as well. Just basically BS our way through it, a lot of it. Because of the whole sniper skip, you can actually skip the trash compactor facility. So, really, really easy. And this guy, we just wait for him to pop up and then stealth him. Super simple. This was actually my first time going for the strat. So, you essentially want to blow the guy over on the left into the laser there. So you just throw the grenade over to his back right, and then it'll knock him into the gun. And this guy happened to blow up his bolt holder while I was throwing the grenade, so it actually stopped me whenever it was hurting him. Shoot the guy in the back, but I should have shot the stun rod guy first. Then I had to deal with this guy again. I don't know how I didn't hit the second barrel, but it's whatever. And this guy must have been high on something because he just like turbo fucking... Like he must have had to take a dump or something because he just turboed past me and didn't even give a shit. So I assume he had to go on some important business or something because he did not care. Then we stealth this guy coming up the ladder. We don't have to worry about the guys that are below anymore chasing after us. They don't. So we're basically free and silent again in this section. Get rid of this guy, super easy. There's another guy around the left corner here. We're going to take him out too. It looks like he was just taking a dump or something, whatever. Maybe the bathroom was full, that's why the guy downstairs was booking ass, but we're going to grab the yellow herb here, shoot the explosive barrel next to the wall. It'll blow up the wall and then we can get the golden lynx statue, which is decently pricey on its own, so it's pretty good to grab. We're going to have shield guys and stuff running into the room too. After we shot the explosive barrel, we're going to have to deal with all these guys running along trying to get us. And the RPG guy, I thought he had a helmet, that's why I kind of hesitated to shoot him, but if I had just gone, I could have avoided the shield guys. But here, I hate shield guys more than anything, so I just opted to throw a grenade to push him out of the way, dodge the bat guy, just run up the center. We don't really have much to worry about after we take out the RPG guy. But these two guys, since I'm right under the bridge, the crossbow guys can't shoot me. I hit the first guy, hug this guy's left where he can't hit me, and then push open the door and run. We're not going to go for the elegant crown with all the guys guarding it. There's just no point. We're sitting on so much money at this point that we don't need to worry about it. Like, if we sell the broken butterfly, it's worth like almost 200 grand at this point, so really not concerned with money, really don't care, don't want to waste all the time and the effort just to get the crown. So, just gonna opt to leave that there, go inside, start clearing out everything in this room, and then going upstairs. In particular, whenever I do get up the stairs, I like to use these, the tripwire against these guys. So I hit this guy, he becomes a parasite, the jaw one, and then these two guys heard the shot, so I try and get them where they're all line up, so I stop this guy by shooting, and then the rest of them just run in and immediately die, like, essentially, except this guy, he was built different, I guess, or something, I don't know. Go in, open up all their lockers, steal all their bullets out of their stuff, go over, hit the button to unlock the door leading to Ashley. And then we're going to go downstairs where the door just opened after we go around the corner here and break open the box. There was another box that I missed downstairs, but in hindsight it's not really that important. It doesn't really matter. So we go in, get a little cutscene with Ashley. She's being held prisoner in this little room. And we have to go through probably the most horrifying section in the game. The brute guy here and this guy, normally they don't see you if you just drop down, but I rolled in, so I kind of had to avoid them. But you can stealth kill both of them if you're quick enough, if they don't happen to see you. So, if you want to opt to do that route, you can. I'd actually never just ran from them, so I wasn't sure. There, I just got a lucky crit on that guy, but I never actually ran from them, so I wasn't sure their de-aggro range. But turns out it's pretty decently long, so they're actually coming up behind me currently. And we need to be aware of that. So I hear the parasite kind of chittering coming from the door, and I know I'm going to get sandwiched in this room. And then the brute comes in, so I'm like, yep, fuck that. Start running, dodge the bat guy that's right at my ass. Don't think I have enough room to pass that guy, so I just shotgun blast him to put him on the ground. Run into the kitchen. Realize, hey, there's still stuff in this room. Haha, I want goodies. Stun rod guys coming through the door. End up running for my life after grabbing all the stuff. And just on to the next section where they de-aggro. Open up this little dumpster, get the hand grenade. I trigger this guy, don't shoot him, but I just trigger him and run back. He'll end up, well, dunning himself on the floor there, as you can see. But we do open up this fridge. There is a fish in it, which is free healing, so we definitely want. And now we're coming up on the regenerators, and I only have 4 shotgun shells, which is basically the only thing I have currently that can blow off their legs. So we definitely want more of those, so I make more. So we're still sitting really good on money, really good on a lot of stuff, healing items, everything else in particular like that. Still don't care for the case upgrade. But we will be going on to the regenerators part, which in hindsight I'm not too happy with. Did it really sloppy, not really well, but I mean overall it wasn't bad. I didn't just take a shitload of free hits, but the lab section in particular is just really bad. I could have done it a lot better. There's actually a few times where you can plant your ass into the wall with the sniper, like multiple times while doing the card readers. I only opt to do it one time because I kind of like doing the merry-go-round in the ice section. I figured it'd be more eventful. But we do go in this room, grab the first aid spray, the red barrel, and the gunpowder. And for those that don't know, in the little lab section there where that regenerator comes out, he actually opens his eyes when you turn on the power. But this puzzle, it's just 3 for the outer section, 2 for the middle section, and 2 for the inner section, and then that'll turn on the power for everything. And then you can just open the door and walk in, grab the key card, and then your boy is sitting outside the door there, grinning permanently. And this part kind of upset me. I actually ended up hitting him in the side somehow, but I feel like I hit him in the leg. And then he was kind of quick with getting back, so as soon as I opened the door, he's right there. And truthfully, I should have known better, but regenerator grabs are actually one of the weakest in the game, just because here I actually messed up and forgot that I needed to swap off the power, so I just ended up quickly going back through, and it gave him time to catch up, which wasn't good. But I ended up dodging okay. So yeah, realized I couldn't get past him, immediately book a left, he misses. But yeah, regenerators grabs are actually one of the weakest in the game, and the fact that they don't do the damage up front. If you knife them, then it actually doesn't deal like any damage. So they're balanced in the fact that they don't just immediately take a third of your life whenever they grab you. So they're really nice, actually. I would take a regenerator grab over a Ganado grab any day, honestly. But here, you can actually plant your ass in the wall next to the card reader, and the regenerator will just kind of sit there not knowing what to do. And I don't know if anybody else noticed, but I just fired a shotgun blast out of my ass because Leon didn't turn around. I thought that was just kind of funny to note. But we will just kind of play Ring Around the Rosie with this guy. I figured it'd be more eventful just seeing me stuck in a tiny room with this thing swimming on the ground with its ass jiggling everywhere than scoping down and, you know, not doing much else. And here he comes for the big hit. And of course I shot him in the leg and it didn't go off. That time I even hit him in the leg. You can see the blood. I swear to God I hit him in the leg. I don't know why his leg didn't blow off. Maybe it was just not the day. But I think it should have. Now we got Carl here. Bye, Carl. You jiggly ass fuck. But we're going to be on to the next section. Basically only have one Regenerador left. Because we don't really do the trash compactor section with the Iron Maiden, we don't really have to worry about them. And later on the later part of the island in the body bag room, you can do that whole section without activating a single Regenerador. So I just don't activate any of them and run through the section, essentially. But here we can get rid of these three guys silently. There is a fast way with a flash grenade that you can use. So far, I think Distortion, the speedrunner, made that method. He just threw it towards the door and blinded the guys in the room, as well as the next room. But since we're not really speedrunning, we just opt to go slow. And I don't know why, but this auto sorter decided to put my green herb and my yellow red herb mixture on separate ends of the damn attaché case. And it did it multiple times. I think it was just out of spite. But we will want to grab the rifle ammo, stealth kill this guy, just to get rid of him. Go ahead and grab the other rifle ammo in this case. And go ahead and grab everything in this lab. So red herb, submachine gun ammo. There's green herb and rifle ammo on the other side. Definitely want to grab all of that. We're going to be getting our biosensor, so we want to make sure that we have enough room for that here in a sec. Which currently I don't, but I do have 5 handgun ammo that will not be used. Like, literally, we don't have a handgun, so I just discard it and then have the biosensor. Realize, you idiot, you need to still get the wrench out of the damn Regenerador and the test tube. So go ahead and scan all of them, see which one of them has the wrench. Grab the hand grenade you forgot. And while they're in the tank, you can actually collat as many as you can line up. So I go ahead and do that. Now he only has 2 left. End up missing. Got that one. Then he ended up in front of this case, so I kind of hesitated on shooting that one, because I wasn't exactly sure. He goes for a swing, miss, end up on the floor. Now he's swimming my way, but I hit his last parasite. And so now we have the wrench. We're going to go ahead and hit these boxes we didn't before, grab all the stuff in them. I can't really grab the shotgun at the moment. So just kind of figuring what exactly I want to do. I have a shit ton of gunpowder, so I just opt to make some shotgun shells to put the shotgun shells that I have there in with them. So we're going to open up this little panel with the wrench. Start trying to do the scope trick. Realize that you're an idiot and didn't put the key card in yet. Thank you, past me. Now do the scope trick. There you go. Good boy. So the scope trick, the Ganados don't really know what to do. Essentially, they'll all just kind of line up staring at where Leon's last known position was, essentially. So they'll all just kind of be sitting here waiting for us to come out of the scope. And when we do, they're definitely going to beat our ass, but we'll be okay for the most part. We just need to wait on the keycard reader. It's a lot better than the alternative of running around the room with dynamite being thrown all over the place and Regenerators coming out of the damn test tubes. So, a lot better. And again, I'll opt for a back grab any day of the week over a front grab, so not a bad thing. This guy misses. He has the recharge time of after throwing, he can't really do anything. Shoot that guy's dynamite. So we hop through the window so we're not close to that dynamite guy whenever we get into the room. The window will put you at a perfect distance where you can shoot his dynamite without having to worry about being blown up by it. So that's why I hop through the window instead of going through the door. And then we just go to the next part, open the door for Ashley, and then we're in to the next chapter. Which really isn't that long of a chapter because we cut like 70% of it with a skip. So That's interesting. Again, don't save at chapter ends. Completely pointless. But there we blitzed through chapter 13 and basically did it without saving, so that's good. And I opt not to save until I get to, I believe it was Krauser's section coming up, because it'll just give me an extra save. So if you can make it all the way through chapter 13 and you opt to do the skip, it's relatively safe to make it all the way to Krauser before you save again.
I need you to open it from the other side.
So if you make it through chapter 13, chapter 14 is like 4 Ganados that you have to deal with. And they are not particularly threatening at all, because you have high ground except for one of them, and if you take the high ground from the one guy, the other 3 don't. Also, she just made a reference to Master Unlocking. I still love that line every time. Damn you, Barry, why aren't you in more games? So yeah, we're basically just going to do the skip next. Merchant, we're going to give him all of our random assortments of crap. He gives us a ton of money, honestly, and we're not really worried about anything else in particular except for repairing our stuff. Don't really need anything else. We still have one merchant before we get to Krauser's fight, so I'm not worried about anything like that. And like I said, there's 4 Ganados between us and the next part. If you do go through the trash compactor part, just take 2 heavy grenades, or make sure that you have 2 heavy grenades, because if you do the wrecking ball part, you can actually blow the wall with the heavy grenades while Ashley swinging the wrecking ball at it, and it'll destroy the wall instantly in one hit. So that part becomes non-trivial, or that part becomes trivial, not non-trivial. Like, fucking idiot. But that part becomes trivial. The Iron Maiden section is probably the worst section if you opt to do this the hard way. But even then, it's just, once you have it down, it's essentially just using ammo. Nothing much else. So I didn't really even worry about it. This part, not really too bad. Just basically the same as in the castle. You just have to do the twirl and hit the thing at the right time and you'll be through the wall. Then you need to open it for Ashley. Just remember to do that. So I call the lift first before I ever touch any of these boxes, just because by the time the lift gets down here, we'll have all the boxes cleared. Just a little bit of a time save. Not really anything important, even if you don't do it. But yeah, we're going to be working our way up to where Ashley gets kidnapped. And then we won't have to worry about Ashley for like majority of, well, actually the rest of the game, honestly. There's one last section where she can be in danger, but she can't be kidnapped, so it doesn't even matter then. So here you can kind of see Ashley's confidence building up. Usual, she wants to work with Leon, that sort of stuff. Character development, who knew? She can actually have some, but
Maybe someday I'll become an agent like you.
again,
What do you think?
we're about to get into a section where she gets kidnapped. I do actually like this cutscene where it shows that she can actually put up a fight and has some resistance. At the same time, Leon gets incredibly lucky that his gun jams and she doesn't blow his brains out, so push and pull. Like, his gun has never jammed in this entirety of this game, but when Ashley pulls the trigger the one time, it seems to. And there, that's just me being an idiot. I always forget that the crystal ore isn't there. It's in this section over here, where we're running to, through the boxes. For some reason, I always think the crystal ore is immediately straight whenever you enter the door. Don't know why. Just always done that. But we just need to observe the amber, and then it'll start the cutscene with Sadler. Almost said Krauser, but Sadler will take Ashley after all of that spiel. We'll go on the right path because this guy, like I said, there's 4 Ganados between us and Krauser. This guy is the high ground. And now we have the high ground, Anakin. So we're going to use that to our advantage after looting this house. And you'll notice that I have Magnum ammo currently, but I'm not filling my Magnum with it. That's because we don't want to put Magnum ammo into something we're going to sell. Since we're going to be buying the Killer 7 in the next merchant, it'd be kind of pointless to fill a Magnum to sell to him, because it won't give us extra money. There's no real reason to. That's why I'm opting not to fill the Magnum. Because we're not going to use it in this section, we're essentially just saving ourselves extra bullets later on. And you can hear that guy actually just murked himself off screen, but this guy, again, we have the high ground. Nothing he can really do, except maybe throw an axe at us, but even then, we're not really scared of it. So we get rid of all of them, clear out all their camp. They have a treasure in the tent that they're next to. Again, don't really need handgun bullets, so I just opt to stop picking them up for the most part. They too had a golden dookie in a box. Go ahead and grab this box. More handgun bullets, don't need it. Grab the pesetas out of this boxes. There is a first aid spray always in Krauser's little camp here, so I go ahead and opt to see what I can give for it. Because I just figured that Krauser's going to kick my ass for the most part, I basically just opted to get as much as I could. And I knew I'd be needing a flash grenade later, so I ended up making a flash grenade there, just to have. So open up that box, end up getting even more Magnum ammo, which is just insane. Like, the chances for Magnum ammo I feel like are so small, but I just started getting it left and right here, which is kind of crazy. And again, we're not filling the broken butterfly because I don't want to fill it to sell it. There's no point. But we will sell our broken butterfly and get the Killer 7. Again, reference to another Capcom game, if you haven't played. Suda 51, I think, was the one that made it. So, interesting game. Really odd. Same guy that made No More Heroes, if you haven't played that one. But interesting game, to say the least. Good reference. Just fun little nod to other Capcom game. So we upgrade it to the 4th level, just because we don't really need more than that. I didn't figure we would. Register it to a shortcut, because we're going to want to shoot Krauser in the face quicker, and then save our game. So we went all the way from the start of Chapter 13 to here. And after that, we'll be on Chapter 15. So we essentially gave ourselves an extra save, so I could save before Krauser, and then after, before we started all the BS-ery with Mike. But we're going to end up in our Krauser scene. He's going to start shooting at us. We're going to return the favor with the Killer 7 to his face. And he goes ahead and jumps down. I just end up emptying some TMP. Again, I could have just hit him with a Killer 7, but I ended up figuring, hell, I'll knife fight him. I have no idea what the hell happened there where he missed his knife, but I like quick turned and then stopped like it was a quick turn cancel, and he whiffed his knife. It was really weird. But I ended up getting him with quite a few perfect parries, which I'm pretty proud of myself. I didn't figure I would actually do that. Because this fight actually gave me a shit ton of trouble back when. So I'm pretty happy that I ended up doing as well as I did. I still ended up beefing up a lot of it, but at the same time, I did do relatively decently for my standards. And there I just use a heal because I know he's going to do a grab in the next section. I actually opt to test something with the grab section. I wanted to know if his own mine could hit him while he was coming down for the grab, and turns out that it couldn't, but I figured it was worth a try. I had enough healing to go for it, so I figured, why the hell not? But yeah, if I could redo it, I would have just shot him. It would have saved a little bit of pain. So whenever you jump down here, he always opts for a grab. I figured, I wonder if this mine will do any damage to him if I shoot it while he's near. It did not, in case you're wondering. But it cost me like maybe a little under a third of my health, and as soon as you kick him off, he just runs anyways, so wasn't really worried about it. Watch the bear trap on your right, and he will come out and try and shoot you with a bow, so you just hide behind the little bit here. And just shoot the mines that are around the corners. And the machine gun. And this mine, I feel cheated on, because I wasn't really that far out, but it still took like a fourth of my damn armor vest whenever I shot it. So that really sucks. But at the same time, it's not that bad. The only other part we really have to worry about is Krauser shooting at us with his TMP in the bow bridge. But even then, it's not really that big of a deal. The bow bridge in particular is one part where I had a lot of trouble whenever I first did this section. I do okay whenever I'm going across this time, but I still get caught by a damn bear trap because I'm blind, I guess. So the broken, like, brick sections, or the disheveled brick sections, are the ones that he can break, but he can't break these steel-plated pillars, so we don't really worry about those. But you definitely want to look out for these damn bear traps. I missed this last one over on my left, and it ends up snagging me, so... And this was a really, really big error, looking back, because I ended up with barely any knives. So, getting rid of that boot knife was a hell of a decision looking back. And there he had me stumble, so I should have probably known better than to just run out, but I still had vest, so it wasn't that bad. But he did tag me right before I got into here, which is kind of unfortunate. You run up, he throws down some grenades, so definitely just want to run back as soon as you run up. And again, it's trying to give me handgun ammo because the attaché case. That damn thing is always trying to give you handgun ammo. Snipe him in the head, he falls down, give him a kick, run back. And here I accidentally do a speedrunner strat. I did not mean to do that. I didn't figure I would actually evade into the bomb, but I ended up doing it. And I'm not disappointed with it. I'm not going to say I did it on purpose, though, because I did not. So me and Krauser go for a knife fight. I end up perfect parrying his ass a few times, which is good. And then he just runs off, starts his "Witness the power!" and sends you through the floor. Yeah, that. This attack is quite hard to parry, honestly. You have probably like a tenth of a second, maybe like a quarter, somewhere between the two. It's a really short window. So, yeah, really short window to parry that. Not exactly the easiest, but it doesn't do a ton of damage if it does hit. And here, get rid of the handgun bullets to take the green herb. Green herb's going to do us more good than a handgun bullet, because we'll never use the handgun bullets. There, always just evade. Easy. Always the same button. Never really have to worry about it. Go ahead and pick up that red herb. Krauser likes seeing us writhe. And now we have our Magnum and Krauser and barely any knife left, if you're paying attention. So this is going to be good. And by that I mean, it's going to be bad. So we start off, evade his attack, miss a killer 7 shot, of course. He tries to stab us, or kick us, kicks us off the edge, and you'll know that we have no knife, so now we have no knife. And I miss another shot with a killer 7. So I'm like, oh shit, what do I do now? And then I remembered, because I fought Krauser so many damn times, he's just wailing on me for free. I can't parry him right now. So I was like, oh shit, wait, there's a boot knife over here. So I go ahead and grab that, and I end up perfect parrying his ass so many times that it saves me, like, ridiculously. Like, if I did anything worse in this part, that it would have ended, essentially, because I couldn't parry him. And here I couldn't make it out in time, but he didn't do that much damage. And a really weird glitch, like, happened where I ended up in the air. And there I essentially had to stab him. Otherwise, he would have killed me. But it put my knife down to 1%, if you're looking at it. So if I lose my knife right now, I'm pretty much boned with any attack he hits me with. I would just have to run around for like minutes on end while he's stabbing me. So essentially, I'm just kind of running it through my head. How do I do this? Like, what is the best path here? And thankfully, I ended up doing it just right. With, like, nothing left of that knife. Like, that boot knife is on its last limb. I'm pretty sure if it could say kill me, it would say kill me. But yeah, took out Krauser. Again, kind of put myself in the situation by missing shots. Just happens. Like, if you're inconsistent as fuck, like me, it's just going to happen, and you have to adjust. I'm just thankful that I was able to adjust enough. So, really happy that I went through Krauser's second phase, or second fight, entirely on the first shot. Like, I'm really proud of me. Thank you for actually doing something well on the first attempt. And we didn't go through 70 health items, which is fantastic. Like, whenever I first played through, I even told myself, Krauser will probably be the thing that kills a professional run for me because of parrying. But I ended up doing it really well. And I'm glad that I did. So we have our merchant and our save spot. We're not really going to use the Killer 7 at the next part, so I just opt to sell it. Not really a whole lot of reason to having it. But now you can see that our case is cheaper, so we can buy the upgrade for that. Not really worried about upgrading Krauser's knife or anything. Nothing in particular like that. Do opt to finally get that yellow herb and the yellow diamond. And then I just buy a bunch of other treasures because we have extra spindles that I know I'm not going to really use. So yeah, get a yellow herb. Didn't really need it, honestly. We're already at the capacity for health. And I just end up filling the mask with all the expensive jewels. Just to, you know, get it on its way. Or I fill it with one expensive jewel and then 2 sapphires. That way we can put the extra money into the links. That way it gives us more base money from the links. So I'm not really worried about money at this point, if you couldn't tell. We're sitting pretty damn good. I'm just making sure that we're all stocked up on what we need. Here I'm kind of just deciding, do I want to tune up any weapons? But I've honestly been doing okay with what we have, so I didn't really worry about it. And again, just kind of saving in different sections, different save slots. That way we can go ahead and be relatively good if anything happened with recordings. Again, I went through a section and wasn't recording, so it was pretty bad. And here, you can hide behind this section in particular, or you can run up a little further behind that double bag there. It's kind of all just down to if Mike's having a good day or not, if he hits everything. So, he can hit everything, he could not. Really just depends. You definitely want to have control of this minigun by the time, or this mounted gun by the time that Mike is done with everything down here. But again, he didn't hit the guys, and they were coming up the ladder behind me, and then he hit them. So. And my boot knife just broke after 2 slashes, so. If you were wondering how weak that boot knife was, there you go. So yeah, we definitely want to get to that mounted gun as fast as possible just to get rid of all the guys in the front. So we get rid of everything that's coming out of the cave. You can also throw some heavy grenades at the spawn that comes out from behind you here, but I just opt to let Mike take them out after I'm done on the mounted gun, getting rid of all the guys that come from the little cave across the way. So I run back behind this little divider barricade here, and then just let Mike mow them down. So save a little bit of ammo, a little bit of time, some heavy grenades, stuff like that. Or we don't really save time. If you use the heavy grenades, it's super quick, but we can just save ammo, resources, that sort of thing. And I swear nothing ever wants to be in its hit animation. Like, they do the grab, but they don't go down on the knee. But that's whatever. Don't need them on their knee if they don't have knees anymore, so. But we're going to clear out this section. Mike's kind of just doing his own thing up ahead, so nothing really to worry about. We're going to go around the corner. He'll tell us to chill and take a break, so we're going to listen to that and just let him do his thing. And do not get close to that rock face because that RPG will absolutely blast your ass, so definitely don't want that to happen. So yeah, Mike takes out the mounted gun up there, then we have a lot less worries. We do have to, in particular, be on the lookout for the parasites here, but Mike will still take them out. As you can see, it's just kind of raining down fire on them. We go ahead and grab all the stuff here. There's, in particular, a first aid spray here. Really good to have. Go ahead and climb the ladder. There's going to be a treasure up above the archway here on our right, but we're going to go to the left and grab the green herb and boxes over here. Or barrels. And then here for this section, you need a heavy grenade and a regular grenade. We kind of have a lot of both, so I'm not really worried about missing. So the AA gun, normally you'd have to run all the way to the mounted gun to start shooting down on it. But if you have a heavy grenade and a regular grenade, you can just chuck them up here. And it's gone. Mike's back. So, super quick way to do that section. Now you have to worry about the RPG currently laser sighting you up there. So, I dodge behind the wall and then try to shoot at him, but Mike gets him first. And there is the mounted gun across the way. It doesn't do any damage since we have the bulletproof vest, but it will still degrade our vest, so the less shots we take, the better. Especially with the next section coming up. And this guy, just being a asshole with the stun baton, or stun rod, whatever you want to call it. The long, zap stick. Sure, that works. So, definitely don't want him to hit us. We have all these guys. I see a shield guy there. Definitely don't want anything to do with him. Somebody gets back on the mounted gun. Just kind of wait for Mike to opt to get him. But Mike's taking his sweet ass time. That's the only downside. Mike's kind of random, and really whenever he does shit, like he can be fast or he can be slow. There he tries to take out my guy, but I suplex him first. The first and only suplex. I finally got one. In case you're wondering what my favorite melee move in Resident Evil is, it will always be the suplex. Main reason I played Josh in RE5. Just really love the suplex. Really fun. So Mike blows the gate, and we're going to have to go on to the next section. Flash grenades will be your friend, especially in the next section. Here I see all these guys, so I kind of just opt to throw a heavy grenade. See if I can clear some of them out. That guy's just kind of chilling on fire, but whatever. We're going to run in here into the right because there's a ladder that we can climb up, so we definitely want to climb up that. There's going to be a guy on the turret here. I'm going to get rid of him. And I don't know how that guy's not getting shot, but at the same time, whatever. So I throw out a stun grenade, or a flash grenade, Gets rid of that parasite, blinds the other minigunner guy, or the mounted gun, and then I just make some more flash grenades because I figure, yeah, I'm definitely going to need them. Pull the switch. Guy's still kind of taking pot shots at us. Not really too concerned. Just jump down. Start running before he absolutely shreds our ass. Grab the red herb on my way up. Here, try and run to the left, then remember, oh wait, shit, it's blocked. That guy throws dynamite onto himself, which is a-okay with me. So don't have to worry about that guy. Just end up blowing these guys back. Get the flash grenade out, throw it down the line. Dodge the fire as good as I can. These guys would have blocked my path, so I had to melee them. And pull the switch. Now I'm going to get ready with another flash grenade. And that guy, even though he's on fire and blind, still finds the time to grab me. Like an asshole. So, end up running for my life. Use that mount animation to kind of try and cancel out the damage from that guy. He didn't end up taking a swing on me anyways, so wasn't really that big of a concern. There, I just opt to fill my health. I have some shotgun, but there's going to be no Vistadors that are going to be after us, so definitely going to want a little bit more. End up filling up my shotgun, and those that don't know, here's Mike with his bar selection scene. No Vistadors kind of get rid of all of that, so no bar with Mike, only bugs. So we're going to get chased by the bugs. I just opt to kind of line them all up on one side by running and then take them all out. That way I can loot this area. Because there's the Staff of Royalty and a bunch of other stuff, I just want to go ahead and grab everything. I didn't even bother with the emblems in this place because my brain always forgets where they are, so I just don't even worry about them. You'd think it'd be easy to remember where like 6 things are, but for me it's just impossible, I guess. So we're going to go down here and grab the staff. Easily worth like 25,000, I think it was. 30,000, something like that. It's in the ballpark, but it's one of the most expensive non jeweled items that you can get. So really worth it. If you don't mind wasting about 30 seconds. So if you're a speedrunner, ignore that comment. If you aren't a speedrunner, grab it. It's just free. Here we have the body bag section with the regenerators again. You won't be seeing one because I just do the section like without any concern. So don't even worry about seeing one of them. It's really simple to do anyways. You just run a certain path. Here I was just attempting to do the skip. I hadn't actually tried this before, so I wanted to see just if it was super easy or not. So I gave it a shot, and then I decided, you know what? I'm just not after like a few attempts. So I give it my few fair shots, and I was just like, this is gonna take too long. Come on past me, you know you want to give up already. He will eventually, I swear. He's a little boneheaded, but give him a break. Yeah, there we go. Good man. Know when to hold them, and when to fold them. So yeah, we open it, do it the normal way. Decided to say screw it. I gave it a good half minute's worth of attempts, just to see, but I didn't really care to keep doing it. Viper in that box, the last Viper we can get. Hand grenade on the gurney with it. But we're just going to go ahead and grab the wheel over here. Go ahead and spin it. Then we're going to take a long, wide path just to get through this room. Make sure not to touch the body bags. And then just dive through the door. So, did that part without a regenerator showing up. Super easy. Nothing really too complicated. And I definitely want to save at this part, because this part can be so finicky, especially with the trick that I'm going to use. Turret skip, I think they're calling it, but it is a pain in the ass to hit sometimes. And sometimes I just end up walking right into the turret. I'm not even going to lie. Like, Leon's momentum in this game is still a mystery to me whenever I need to stop. And sometimes I just end up dying, like running square into that shit. Like, it is surprising the amount of times I can do that. And there we finally get the case upgrade. Didn't really need to, honestly, at this point, but it's whatever. I mean, I got nothing but money. So that's our penultimate save. Our last one will be before Sadler. So, nothing too extreme. This is basically the last big firefight section of the game, which we do relatively simply. Just basically have to get rid of the guys hanging around up top, the archers, and especially the RPG guy later on. So we just take out all of the little guys, all of the bugs, which actually you can see on the bioscope if anybody didn't know. So their camouflage is ineffective against that. And those guys with the helmets, you want to just make sure to hit them lower in the face, so then the helmet doesn't block the shot. So, hit the explosive barrel, get rid of the bug in that room. Sometimes it survives. It's kind of a 50-50, honestly. I've had it survive, I've had it not. So, just get rid of it. Realize that you're getting targeted by an RPG. Go ahead and take the high ground so we can get rid of that guy as well as the bug up here. And of course it drops down as soon as I attempt to shoot it. Then I fully get rid of it. RPG guy is basically the only one that we really need to worry about. He does take out the Novistador there. Good man. I wish he would do that all the time, but... Then we also have Big Papa Pump down here, kind of making noise, but we don't really have to worry about him. And now I'm just going to run for my life towards this turret over here with the jutting out piece of the wall. So, we just have to go really close and then stop. And then work our ass into this little jutting piece of wall. So you can see I'm kind of just wiggling in. I'm waiting for something in particular, which is that bug. And that bug. And then I start getting whopped by all of the bugs. So I'm just like, all the healing items. Don't even care. Just did it. And I don't even care that they're whipping me for half my health. At this point, I have the healing items to make it. I've essentially just beat the game at that point. I don't care. I will burn through all of my healing items there to get past that room. Because at this point, we have so much money and so much just everything that we really don't have to worry about Sadler. We're just going to RPG his ass. That's it. And I didn't do the duffel bag Ashley trick, but if you haven't seen that yet, you should definitely look it up because it is funny as hell and just looks goofy as shit. Like, Leon just literally holds her like a grenade and she's just floating by his side. It's funny as hell. I would do it, but I had a limited number of saves and I've never really practiced it, so didn't really have an opportunity. But yeah, it is super funny to see. Would recommend. So we got our slow little trot to Luis's lab. Leon is slowly starting to lose his marbles. Fun fact that I did notice whenever I first played this game, Ashley had trouble lifting a guy off of the lever in the castle, in Salazar's castle, in Chapter 9, but she can somehow lift Leon's big muscular ass onto a table that's like 4 feet up. And I really wonder how she did that. She couldn't lift a guy off of a lever that was like a 45-degree angle, but she can lift Leon's big ass off of the floor. And he's not small in this one either. Like, he's pretty damn muscular, so he's got to weigh a little bit. Like, enough for a 20-year-old college girl to definitely have some trouble lifting his ass off the floor in a dead weight state. I just thought that was kind of funny. But maybe she's been benching while she was in prison or something. I don't know. She was fucking locked up for, shit, 15 minutes? I think that's how long it took me to save her ass. So yeah, maybe she was doing some prison workouts or something. I don't know. So, this is the end of chapter 15. Let's just put her on the table. Have a screaming montage that isn't nearly as weird as the original. Just sounds horribly painful in this one. And then we're on to basically just Sadler fight the chapter. Chapter 16 is essentially just 2 Novistadors and Sadler. And then the jet ski at the end. I'm not going to lie, I died on the jet ski on this, and I was laughing my ass off. Don't tell anyone. I had never died on the jet ski until I played on professional. So that was my first death to the jet ski, was at the very end of professional mode, and I thought that was just funny as hell. But yeah, really the things that gave me the most trouble in this run were the Chainsaw Sisters in the Gorge. Probably took like 15 attempts. El Gigante took like 6 or 7 to get that right. The cabin, because I put El Gigante and the cabin together, overall probably took like 15 attempts. Mendez, running from him, took like 3. The jet ski took 1. I'm not even gonna lie. Krauser did it first time, surprisingly. The thing that I thought would be the worst was actually the best. Mike's section, first try, surprisingly. The mine section was actually the first attempt. The chaotic mine section was first attempt, which was pretty damn funny. So, yeah, in all honesty, it wasn't extremely bad, but there were some sections where it was just like, I put myself in a corner and holy shit did I have to work myself out of it. But here, we're just going to end up selling everything. Like, what are we selling? Everything. Merchant, I don't think you understand. When I say everything, I mean everything. Just take it all. Except my knife. I like my knife. You can't have that. So yeah, we sell everything except our magnum ammo and our heals. So, and with that, we're going to buy a rocket launcher and a Killer 7 with some upgrades. And a first aid spray, I guess. I figured I needed 20 instead of 19 or something. I don't know. Past me is just weird. Just ignore that guy. Then upgrade its power, like all the way. Doesn't matter. Just upgrade it. Capacity is okay. Sure, whatever. Rate of fire as well, just whatever. You can basically upgrade whatever after power. It doesn't matter. Capacity, I think it's like 9 shots to kill second phase Sadler. But yeah, the rest of the game's pretty much free, unless you're me and die on the jet ski. So, we go ahead and save. Really wasn't worried about Sadler in particular. I just saved here to have a save here. This will be our last save. So, 15 saves, we have no more. We can't save after Sadler. We can't save anywhere after this point. Otherwise, we lose the S+ rank. You have up to 15. As soon as you do 16, you lose S+. So, in case anyone's wondering. So, pull out our RPG and be ready to skip some cutscenes. Hi, Sadler. Bye, Sadler. And he's dead. On to his second phase. So here, just kind of start the monologues. And then there's the tentacle. Dodge it, start shooting.
Stay short. It's not me. It's you.
Yeah, it takes 10 shots with a fully upgraded Killer 7. So, grab the special rocket launcher and blast him. And I'll give you a holy body, yada yada yada. Ada steals the Plaga sample. And now we run. Don't really even need any ammo, don't really need anything on this part in particular, except for not dying on the jet ski me. So there's only one particular thing that can grab you in this section. I think you can take the grab and still make it. You end up this whole part with like 10 seconds left, but if you do get grabbed, I'm sure it would be like 3, so... this door in particular, just run off to the left. You can also just blast him as soon as he opens the door, but I just opt to run around him. I mean, you don't really gain anything from shooting him, so. Then we just pull this equipment up, make our way to the jet ski, go have a fun thrill ride with Ashley, as long as we don't blow up. Too bad we can't still leave her ass with a Dipman glitch. That will never not be funny. So, we just make our way to the exit now. Easy enough. As long as you don't run into a wall, like I did. Go ahead and do some spin maneuvers while we're exiting, for the hell of it. Because Ashley likes it and she starts paying us, I guess. It's kind of weird. I don't know if she's paying us. Like, where's this money coming from for doing flips? I swear she's putting money in our pockets. Like, I really don't know where the money's coming from. I really think Ashley's just paying us to be a psycho. Oh, we're gonna die if we don't make it out of here in time? Yeah, sure, here, have some money. I guess it's odd. But yeah, the jet ski section never really changes. Super simple. And actually this professional mode is where I got the no damage to the jet ski. Before I would always like tap a wall, so it's kind of funny that this one in particular, after my first time dying, is the first time perfecting it. But yeah, that's the end of professional. That's going to be just the results screen and then showing the S+ ranking. So super fun run. Not really like too bad in too many sections. Kind of busted my balls at some points, but really fun. But there we have our coveted S rank, so now we're just going to see that we've got all of our items, and we can basically end off at that. Just need to save the playthrough, all of that stuff. But thank you all for watching if you've made it this far. I had a lot of fun doing it. Just shits and giggles, that kind of thing. Figured people would want to see some chaotic shit from somebody who's not very good. So, if you made it this far, again, thanks. Thanks to all the people that helped with tactics and stuff. They don't know that they did, I'm sure, but they did help out a lot with videos and stuff. And yeah, let me know what you guys think, and have a good one.